I have kidnapped an alien civilization. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 301. Who do I belong to? The needle is a silver needle. The hand is a black hand. The black hand holds the silver needle. Potential, as the name suggests, is potential energy, the mysterious energy within the human body. When a person is in a dangerous and desperate situation, he can burst out with amazing power. In TV programs, there are often news about potential bursts, such as a thin girl moving in south with her bare hands to save a 3-year-old child. Liemo always doubts this unscientific phenomenon. However, now he is completely convinced. Because when the sharp needle tip is only 0.05 centimeters away from the head, a pair of hands grabbed the black hand, and a pair of eyes stared at the black-faced man. The hand is Liemo's hand. The eyes are Liemo's eyes. I don't give acupuncture. He held the man's wrist tightly, and said word by word. In the room, Zaya King's face was full of surprise. Liemo, you woke up, that's great. I thought you. As she said this, she turned from joy to tears and shed a few crystal tears. You don't give acupuncture? The black-faced man's eyebrows were raised like mountains. No one has ever refused the silver needles passed down from my family. Hey, the big man exerted force with his arm. Hey. In the end, his arm did not move at all, leaving him with only a red face. Liemo's forehead veins trembled. I said, no acupuncture. Hey, you kid, you know, I guarantee that you will be full of energy immediately after a few needles. The black-faced big man reluctantly retracted his arm and gently rubbed his red wrist with his hand. It's rare to see a patient with such great strength. Fuck, the old skin has been rubbed off. I can't treat this patient. The black-faced big man put the silver needles into the box, raised his foot, and walked out with an angry face. Uncle Huang? Zaya King didn't bother to wipe her tears, stood up and pulled the doctor's clothes. No cure. I haven't seen such a arrogant patient. Who does he think he is? The richest man in the world? The chairman of the United Nations? People who want to be robbed by my Huang family. Judge 13 can line up from Zhangqiu to Huling. Dr. Huang chattered non-stop, holding the needle box, and just walked out. At this time, the nurse Zhu's face drooped. Stop. It's incurable. It's incurable. Zhu's face was gradually covered with dark clouds. Dr. Huang's right foot, which was about to step out of the door, slowly retracted. Hey, brother, what flavor of soup do you like? The bitter and sour hawthorn flavor, or the kind with a stringent taste? If you ask me, a man should face the bitterest soup. How is it? Dr. Huang's big black face almost came close to Liemo's face. A strange smell came over him. The doctor had eaten leek dumplings in the morning. Liemo frowned and said, that, Dr. Huang, please stay away. Oh, creating a good environment for patients is what we doctors should do. The big black face retreated 2 feet. Thank you, doctor. Liemo was finally able to breathe. It doesn't matter what flavor of soup, as long as it can cure my illness quickly. This sudden illness completely disrupted his plan. The new experimental base is about to be completed, the whereabouts of Professor Wu's son, and the gold batch conjecture. Quick, acupuncture is the fastest, don't you disagree? Dr. Huang wrote a prescription on the table, raised his face and shouted loudly, family, go get the medicine. Zaya King's face flushed, grabbed the prescription, and rushed out. Do you want me to prescribe you another 800-year-old medicine? Seeing Zaya King leave the door, Dr. Huang approached in a sneaky way. That kind of medicine? Liemo looked at his strange expression and immediately understood, and said with a smile, no, I'm in good health. Dr. Huang looked like he didn't know what a treasure was. Ah, Mr. Big. There was an exclamation from outside the door. Fuck, why is the big boss here? Dr. Huang immediately stood up and adjusted his slightly wrinkled white robe. Sister Zhu also put down the orange in her hand and quickly swept the melon seed peels and cosmetics on the table into the trash can. Zaya King, you come in too. With an old voice, a skinny old man in a wheelchair was pushed into the room. The old man was white-haired and skinny. If there was anything that could immediately attract Liemo's attention, it was his small eyes. Although these eyes were weathered and full of turbidity, Liemo always felt that they occasionally flashed with a strange light, which was breathtaking. Everyone who was stared at by him would have a feeling that all their secrets were exposed in the daylight. Mr. Dan, why are you sitting in a wheelchair? Liemo tried to sit up straight, but his weak limbs could not satisfy his wish. Zia King stepped forward quickly and shook the bed. It's an old problem. When it's cold, these legs don't listen to me. Mr. Da shook his head. Liemo felt sad. Mr. Wang seemed to have the same problem. As long as his legs and feet were sore, it would rain. According to Brother Hay, this was because the working environment was too bad when they were young. Mianzi, push me to the bed. Liemo then realized that the man pushing the wheelchair was none other than Mr. Mian, who had saved his life. He responded with a grateful smile. Mr. Mian had no expression on his face, but carefully adjusted the position of the wheelchair. I heard that you were sick. The big gentleman's face was full of warm sunshine. Liemo nodded. Nothing, just a little fever. Dr. Huang has already prescribed a decoction. Old Huang's medical skills are still good. The big gentleman nodded slightly. This is a completely harmonious picture of a neighbor's uncle visiting his sick nephew. However, just like the summer weather, dark clouds are waiting for the opportunity under the bright sunshine. Suddenly, a violent storm formed on the big gentleman's face. His eyes widened. His face was as hen. A roar. Zia King. Liemo then understood why Dr. Huang was so scared just now. The superior is awe-inspiring without anger, and he is even more powerful when angry. What was the task I gave you? The big gentleman's eyes flashed with a demonic light. Zia King lowered her little face and rubbed the corner of her clothes with her hands. Protect. Protect Liemo well. The corner of the big gentleman's mouth trembled. What about now? Is he protected in the hospital? Under the majestic gaze, Zia King shrugged her shoulders slightly, accompanied by a slight sob. I didn't know he would get sick. Don't know? Don't you know that Professor Liemo is the most promising scientist in the world? His Marxing battery and quantum chip have won our country a competitive advantage in the high-tech battlefield, and won us a lot of bargaining chips. It can be said that he has become the most glorious banner of our Chinese scientific community. In the list of important global figures listed by the M Country think tank, Professor Liemo has surpassed the president of M Country and occupied the first place. Such an important person, such a glorious banner, was actually protected by you and sent to the hospital. Negligence, great negligence. The country is very disappointed in you. Your parents in the netherworld will also be very disappointed. The big gentleman's words, like a hammer, hammered Zia King's heart. She lowered her head and tears flowed like rain. Well, Mr. Dan, I got sick by myself. I'm in charge of my own body. It has nothing to do with Miss Zia King. Liemo struggled and sat up. Mr. Da's weird eyes were scary, but he couldn't stand by and watch when he saw Zia King, who was always strong, being wronged. Hearing this, Mr. Da slowly turned his head and stared at Liemo with weird eyes, saying word by word, Professor Liemo, when you successfully discovered the quantum core particle, you no longer exist in this world. I hope you can understand this truth. I no longer exist? Then who do I belong to? Mr. Da's confusing words made Liemo confused. But the most important thing at the moment was how to solve Zia King's dilemma. Chapter 302 Debt Collection from Aliens. The air in the ward seemed to stop flowing. The dignified Mr. Da. Zia King sobbing quietly. Dr. Huang, who was as silent as a cicada. Mr. Mian with an expressionless face. At this time, Liemo's words broke the awkward situation. Mr. Da, I came to the security bureau this time to ask you for something. Mr. Da did not say anything, but turned his head and said to the people with different expressions, you guys go out first. Liemo was waiting for this sentence. He looked at Zia King, who walked out of the room with her shoulders slightly hunched and sobbing silently, and felt a little relieved. You can say it now. Mr. Da asked. Liemo glanced at Mr. Mian, who was still standing behind Mr. Da. Mianzi, you go out too. Mr. Da understood what he meant. Mr. Mian walked out with an expressionless face. This time, before Mr. Da asked, Liemo asked, I want to know if there are all the satellite records launched into space in the world in the archives of the Security Bureau. Satellite records? What are you looking for these records for? Mr. Da frowned. Liam tried his best to show perfect sincerity on his face. I will tell you later. It's just a guess now. People in high positions should be careful with their words. Liam knew that with his current status, what he said would be studied seriously. Okay, to check the satellite records, you need S-level authority. When you feel better, let Xia King accompany you to the archives. Mr. Da's words made Liam's heart return to his stomach. He was afraid that this stubborn old man would call Xia King back to the security bureau in anger. Illness comes like a mountain falling, and illness goes like a thread. In the next few days, Liam's daily task was to lie on the hospital bed and drink the decoction prescribed by Dr. Huang on time. Knowing that he couldn't be impatient, he gradually liked this rare leisure time, without having to think about anything or do anything. The only thing that made him feel uncomfortable was that, since Mr. Da came, the attitudes of the doctors and nurses in the hospital suddenly became unusually respectful. Even Dr. Huang, who had once frightened him with a silver needle, was silent every time he took his pulse, and refused to say anything that was not related to the condition. And the Joker's sister Zhu always had a stern face, checked the ward on time, and left by the clock. Fortunately, there was Xia King, who was still as gentle as ever, but now she would strictly require Liam to rest on time every time, and would only go back to the next room after watching him fall asleep. Today was the same. Liam fell asleep on time under surveillance, but when Xia King left the ward, he quietly opened his eyes again. He played this trick a lot when he was a child, but today he played this trick because he had something serious to do. He had a debt to collect. He silently said in his heart, "Pajero, big head Pajero, come out quickly." Grey fog filled the eyes, and wisps of red light came out of the grey fog. Through the red light, a high platform stood faintly in the depths of the grey fog. Liam gently gathered the grey fog rolling around him with his hands, and shouted loudly to the platform, "Big head, I think you owe me a debt." He prayed in his heart, hoping that the alien would not default on the debt. On the platform, the grey fog rolled. The puzzled voice of the big-head Pajero came. "What debt?" "It's good to have a response. I'm afraid the alien will pretend to be dead." Liam smiled slightly and explained, "The debt on Earth refers to the rights and obligations relationship between specific parties in accordance with the agreement of the contract or the provisions of the law, where one party enjoys the right and obligation to request the other party to do or not do a specific act." He decided to give the alien a good lesson in Earth culture. But with the development of society, debts have evolved into many forms. For example, debts of favors. Debts of favors? The big-head Pajero man was even more confused. Is this going to default on the debt? Liam decided to speak clearly. "When I was sick, the doctor chose the method of acupuncture to treat the disease. Are you asking me to stop him?" "Yes, based on the special connection between us. Once the doctor uses the silver needle to physically hurt you, it will inevitably affect all Pajeros." The big-head Pajero man replied. "It's good to admit it." Liam decided to let him see the eloquence of the Earthlings. "For the sake of you Pajero people, I refuse the acupuncture treatment method and change the treatment plan to drink soup. But do you know how bitter the soup is? It's bitter like Coptis chinensis. Every time I drink it, it's salty like chewing barberry and swallowing a needle. I have made such a great sacrifice for you Pajero people. Do you owe me a debt of favor?" The soup made by Dr. Huang's ancestral prescription is indeed very bitter. Every time he drinks it under Xia King's gaze, he pinches his nose. Such a great effort must be rewarded. Grey fog rolled on the high platform. After a long time, the big-headed Pajero said, "I have also issued several warnings and saved your life. If he doesn't admit it, is it considered a lie?" Liam smiled. "You did that at the time, to save the lives of all the Pajero people, didn't you? Doesn't this alien understand? Hostages and kidnappers are always in an unequal position." "Point, that's right." The big-headed Pajero finally figured it out. "Okay, what do you want?" he added. "However, your request must comply with the general principles of the law of universal civilization." Liam was waiting for this sentence. "My request is to get an extra opportunity to ask questions." "Questions?" "It's the type of questions I ask after completing each mission. Don't worry, the questions I ask will not exceed the requirements of the general principles of the law of universal civilization. Okay, you can ask a question. Big-headed Pajero finally agreed. However, after answering your question, this favor will be repaid. Of course, Earthlings keep their words. Liemo answered readily. Just this time, maybe in the future. The question I want to ask is, when I fell into a coma, what was the dark matter that appeared in my mind? And what did you mean by the words you shouted at that time? The scene at that time was very similar to the scene in the demon killing movies on Earth. A white-browed Taoist holding a peachwood sword faced a ferocious monster and put his two fingers together. Hey, hurry up and obey the order. The demon will be executed. Although Liemo's consciousness was blurred, he knew that the dark existence that seemed to have life was not an interesting thing, and it could actually devour the awake consciousness. As the darkness spread, Liemo found that his consciousness was becoming increasingly blurred. Fortunately, the big-headed Pajero man gave a strange roar at the right time, and the dark existence immediately disintegrated and disappeared without a trace. If no one stopped it, would the dark existence occupy the entire brain, and would Liemo become a vegetable? Ever since his strange alien moved into his head, he was always full of fear of those unknown things that could threaten him. Chapter 303 A Planet Without Animals. On the high platform grey fog rolled. After a long time, a sigh came. In fact, this is the first time I have seen this kind of darkness that can devour the consciousness of living things. Liemo's heart tightened, but then he thought that the back Pajero man could drive them away, so he must know something about them. Sure enough, the big-headed Pajero continued. However, before being two-dimensionalized, my head was instilled with many secrets of the universe by the Academy of Sciences. Now that I think about it, the great elders of the Academy of Sciences are always so far-sighted. This big head is still a little fan of the Academy of Sciences, Liemo complained in his heart. In the history of our Pajero's exploration of the universe, there was once such a story recorded. The big-headed Pajero man slowed down his speech, as if he was trying to recall. The story takes place in the era of great exploration. The 5th Star Observer Detachment, which is responsible for long-distance exploration, is preparing to explore the two twin planets orbiting the star at the edge of the Pamela Galaxy according to the original plan. Because their distance from the stars in the galaxy is suitable for the production of life, and according to the analysis of the ultra-long-distance quantum spectrometer, there may be rich elemental deposits on these two planets. The Academy of Sciences is very interested in them. The 5th Star Observer Detachment is a team with rich experience in star observation. Their captain Soren has won the Level 7 Medal of Honor. When they were 0.05 light years away from the twin planets, Captain Soren ordered the spacecraft operator to stop moving forward, because the team members responsible for observing the radar reported that suspected man-made objects were found around the two planets. This is a new situation that was not mentioned in the mission details. According to the Pajero Star Observer Manual, the appearance of suspected man-made objects in the airspace near the planet means that there must be intelligent creatures with a civilization level of 0.5 or above on the planet. Liemo nodded. It was only after entering the industrial age that humans on Earth had the ability to use launch vehicles to launch space satellites. According to the civilization level rules, the civilization level of humans at that time should be around 0.6. The biggest difference between experienced star observers and novice star observers is the decision they make in the first time when facing such an emergency, which is an effect that memory infusion cannot achieve. In fact, if the civilization level of the observed planet has not reached level 2, it cannot pose any threat to the Star Observer Detachment at all. But Captain Soren smelled a disturbing smell from the radar map and sent a message to the Exploration Department for support at the first time. Then, he ordered the whole team to waiting in full disguise. Afterwards, an event analyst analyzed the entire exploration process. They felt that Captain Soren's decision played a major role in the entire mission, and he saved the 5th Star Observer Detachment. The tone of the big-headed Pajero man was full of admiration for the captain of the Star Observer. After 125 cosmic days, the 5th Star Observer Detachment finally received support from a fully organized fleet. The fleet was equipped with a long-range tracking and control spacecraft. Through the detection of the quantum wave radar on the spacecraft, it was found that those man-made objects were mechanical satellites, but their energy was exhausted. Under the influence of the gravity of the planet, they were floating in space and should have been abandoned long ago. At the request of Captain Soren, the long-range tracking and control spacecraft conducted a full-scale detection of the twin planets. An unexpected result appeared. There was no sign of any intelligent civilization activity on these two planets, only some ruins of civilization with broken walls and ruins. Civilization ruins? Like the Atlantis civilization on Earth? Where did those 0.5 level intelligent civilizations go? Hearing this, Liemo was full of doubts. The big-headed Pajero continued, no intelligent life means no threat. When all the Pajeros in the fleet thought it was a false alarm, only Captain Soren frowned. After he carefully checked the radar records of the tracking and control spacecraft, he sent a strange request to the support fleet. After the 5th planet observer detachment landed on the surface of the planet, the time will begin. A safety signal will be sent to the support fleet every cosmic day. If the safety signal is interrupted, the support fleet will immediately use star destroyers to destroy the two planets. The captain of the support fleet rejected Soren's request without hesitation. Because although the fleet is equipped with star destroyers, it requires an official order from the exploration department to destroy a planet, not to mention that the two planets in front of them may contain rich elemental mines. Rashly destroying such useful planets will be sent to the space court. At this time, Captain Soren personally took a shuttle to the support fleet and showed his authority sequence to the captain on the command ship. After verifying the sequence, the captain was shocked and accepted his order without hesitation. Afterwards, some analysts doubted the authenticity of this record, because according to the Pajero authority ranking, if you want the captain of the support fleet to obey, you must at least reach the master ship sequence, but Soren is only a captain of the Star Observer. Can he have such a high authority? Authority sequence? Liemo heard another new term in the Pajero civilization, which seemed to be related to power. He asked doubtfully, is the authority sequence the same as the power on our Earth? I'm sorry, your question has nothing to do with this story, so I refuse to answer. The big-headed Pajero refused without hesitation. Liemo was helpless. Big-headed Pajero continued. Captain Soren led the 5th team and boarded an exploration spacecraft to fly directly to the larger of the twin planets. Under the illumination of the stars, the planet was flashing green light. Although Soren already knew from the radar that 98% of the surface of the planet was covered by a kind of plant, he was still shocked by the scene before him. After entering the atmosphere, through the glass windows of the spacecraft, all you can see is green. There seems to be no mountains, no rivers, no lakes, only plants and green. The landing process was extremely smooth. The experienced operator steered the spacecraft through the gap between two large trees and landed smoothly on the ground. After taking all protective measures, Captain Soren led the team out of the spacecraft. As soon as they stepped on the ground, they found something unusual, because the ground here was completely covered with fallen leaves. The detector showed that the thickness of the fallen leaves was as high as more than 100 meters. After extended detection, it was found that the entire planet was almost submerged under the fallen leaves. Soren looked up at the sky, and through the tall treetops, he could clearly see the stars hanging in the sky, as well as the equally green twin planet. In this way, the 5th Star Observer team rode on a hiking vehicle through the forest for 2 hours. Their destination was the ruins of a civilization not far away. During the 2-hour journey, Captain Soren was completely certain of the biggest doubt about this planet. That is, there are only plants, and no animals here. There are no feathered egg-laying vertebrates, birds in the air, and no Hymenoptera formicidae, ants on the ground. There are not even the simplest invertebrates. This is a planet with only plants and no animals. Natural evolution seems to have abandoned the animal path. This story is a bit long. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 304 Mysterious Death. There are only plants, but no animals on this planet. Liemo was shocked. There are two hypotheses about the origin of species on Earth. The first is Darwin's theory of evolution. The most primitive existence in the universe is not spiritual things, spirits, or gods, but substances with vitality. This vitality evolves into biogen, that is, cells in an evolutionary way. This cell is the beginning of all life in the universe. Darwin advocates that the fittest survive in the struggle for survival. The current situation of organisms on Earth is the result of survival evolution. According to the theory of evolution, a result can be drawn, that is, monkeys are the ancestors of humans, and the ruler of the Earth, the ancestor of civilized humans, is actually a monkey. Therefore, some people who are unwilling to recognize their ancestors have put forward another hypothesis, the theory of alien genetic modification, that humans and all creatures on Earth are the masterpieces of high-level alien civilizations. In this way, psychologically speaking, it is easier to accept. Unfortunately, there is not enough evidence to support this hypothesis. But these two hypotheses have one thing in common, that is, there will be plants and animals on the planet at the same time. Although humans have not detected a planet with life in the universe, the man-made objects on the periphery of the twin planets are obviously not the works of plants. Where did the intelligent creatures on the planet go? Where did the intelligent creatures on the planet go? This is Captain Soren's biggest question. The tall trees in front of us do not have any intelligence. The big-headed Pajero continued. Fortunately, the remains of civilization are not far away. Captain Soren ordered the team members to be vigilant. His rich experience in observing stars made him understand that the wonderful universe often breeds strange life, and danger is often hidden in calmness. Star observer is one of the most glorious professions in Pajero, but also the most dangerous profession. Since its establishment, the 5th detachment has been wiped out 135 times. The team's current full number should be the Star Observer Detachment 5 to 136. According to statistics, the average lifespan of a star observer is 116 cosmic years shorter than that of an ordinary person. For example, the 5th detachment 135, while exploring a water planet, rashly detected an abnormal vortex, and it turned out that there was an aquatic monster with a size of 6, and the vortex with a diameter of 5 kilometers turned out to be the throat of the aquatic monster. The result is self-evident. Although the support fleet that arrived later used shipborne energy cannons to blow up the aquatic monster, all 361 star observers in the team were killed. Liemo couldn't help but admire the aquatic monster with a throat of 5 meters. There are creatures with such a large body in the universe, but what does the volume of 6 mean? He asked. What does volume 6 mean? In Pajero's universe classification, volume is an important indicator to measure the threat of organisms. It is calculated based on the volume and weight of organisms. The Pajero man rarely answered his question. Liemo asked, what is the volume of humans on Earth? The volume of humans on Earth is 0.0001. The big-headed Pajero man replied 0.0001. So little, but Liemo was relieved in his heart soon. After all, intelligent creatures rely on smart brains. Then what is the volume of the largest creature you Pajero people have seen? 100. We once found a plankton that can soar in the air on a gas planet. It relies on swallowing hydrogen in the atmosphere for survival. According to the data of the Star Surveyor, the computer gave this incredible volume, and then the gas planet was blocked by the Academy of Sciences. The big-headed Pajero man said in an amazed tone. Volume 100 is an earthling, Liemo, whose largest animal he has ever seen is an elephant. Such a huge creature has exceeded his imagination. Although he is a supporter of technology, he also understands that the size of a creature often symbolizes strength. In front of such a huge creature, ordinary naval guns are unlikely to work. No wonder Pajero Academy of Sciences blocked the entire gaseous planet. Thanks to Captain Soren's caution, the 5th Star Observer Detachment has safely explored more than 500 planets. As long as they hold on for another year, they will create a record for the Star Observers. After retirement, their names will be engraved on the Hero Monument, which is the supreme honor in Pajero. Therefore, the members of the 5th Detachment strictly followed the captain's requirements on the way to the ruins of civilization. Along the way, it was very smooth. They soon came to the ruins of a huge city. Standing on the ruins of the street, Captain Soren found that this place was very similar to those civilized cities that had not yet reached level 1, with disorganized power transmission lines, pipeline waste disposal channels, and backward wheeled vehicles. At this time, a team member made a new discovery. He found a skeleton in a roundhouse. After computer restoration, Captain Soren learned that the original owner of this planet was a carbon-based animal with a length of 3 meters and 8 legs. According to the restored brain capacity analysis, the intelligence of this animal is at a medium level. As a star observer, he has the right to name newly discovered species. Soren pondered for a moment and named this intelligent carbon-based reptile the Shangren. As the scope of exploration expanded, more and more remains of the Shangren were discovered. Some of them were sitting at the dining table with metal cutlery, and the food on the plate had long turned to ashes. Some were walking on the side of the road, and two Shangren were hugging each other tightly with their 8 legs, as if they were fighting. Fighting? It seems that the big-headed Pajero people have also learned the obscure terms on Earth. Liemo is very relieved. The big-headed Pajero continued, the more we discover, the more puzzles we have. According to the detection results, the death time of these Shang people was very close, and there were no signs of external trauma, and no chemical compounds harmful to carbon-based organisms were detected in the bones. And, according to the analysis of the remains, these Shang people died in an instant without any consciousness, as if a timer switch was installed in their bodies. Tick. Tick. Time's up. Bang. The switch was triggered, and all the Shang people in the city lost their lives at the same time. Not only Shang people, there are also some skeletons of small reptiles in some rooms. Based on the furnishings, Soren speculated that these animals should be pets raised by the Shang people. Their death time is the same. The real duty of the Star Observer is to explore the planet on the spot and find useful resources. It stands to reason that Captain Soren should focus on finding elemental mines at this time, and give up looking for the reasons behind the deaths of these Shang people. Even some members of the 5th detachment have expressed their significance to the captain's decision. If they continue to wander like this, their task scores will drop. And the task score is directly related to welfare benefits. However, under the insistence of Captain Soren, the 5th detachment did not immediately launch the prospecting plan, but returned to the spacecraft and came to another city ruins 200 kilometers away. In this ruins, the same scene appeared before them again. The people in the ruins also died unconsciously in an instant. After that, Soren took the spacecraft and explored 201 city ruins in succession. During this period, he sent 20 safety signals to the support fleet waiting in space. The results were the same. All the animals in these cities died at the same time, leaving only skeletons. Chapter 305 Civilization Record Room. Death Planet. All the animals on our planet lost their lives at the same time. It was incredible. Liemo was full of doubts. The big-headed Pajero continued. Captain Soren led the 5th detachment and walked through almost all the city ruins, but he was very disappointed because the scenes in these city ruins were the same as the city they first explored. There were no new discoveries except for the bones everywhere. After wasting more than a dozen cosmic days, the members of the 5th detachment were getting more and more depressed. Seeing this, Captain Soren sighed and issued an order to change the mission target. He couldn't ignore the decline in the mission score of the entire team just to satisfy his curiosity. He ordered the spacecraft to fly to a coordinate marked as a rare mine by the Deep Expansion Department. When passing through a rare open area, the radar sounded an alarm that there was metal induction 5,000 meters underground. 20,000 meters underground is almost impossible to reach with the technical capabilities of the Shang people. So when Soren saw the metal induction signal, he was extremely excited because he knew that on this planet that was full of strange things, perhaps only strange things were meaningful. 20,000 meters underground? Liemo knew how difficult it was to go deep into a planet. The probes of the Earth's human beings have already landed on Mars, 400 million kilometers away, but they are really helpless when it comes to the land under their feet. The deepest hole drilled by humans on Earth is the Kola Super Deep Borehole, which took humans 33 years to reach 12,262 meters and had to be stopped due to technical reasons. When the spaceship stopped in this open area, Captain Soren immediately discovered something unusual. The entire open area was a standard circle. The surrounding densely packed trees took the open area as the center point and a radius of 500 meters, forming this standard circle. Those trees would rather be densely crowded in the forest, competing for every bit of space, than go even a little deeper into the circle. After arranging the alert mission, Captain Soren directed the solid energy drill to drill. Fortunately for him, the composition of this planet is mainly rock, and the energy drill is very fast. After 3 cosmic days, Captain Soren could clearly see the bottom of the 20,000 meter deep pit, which was shining with metallic luster under the illumination of the stars. This circular man-made object with a diameter of 100 meters seems to be a shelter. At the entrance of the shelter, there is a metal door. Based on the pattern on the metal door handle, Captain Soren can be sure that this is the work of the Shang people. This made him admire that no civilization should ever be underestimated. The metal door that cannot be opened from the outside is useless in front of Pajero's technology. Soren ordered all team members to be on alert and then gently opened the metal door. After a flash of light and dark, the shelter's lighting equipment turned on and the entrance was illuminated brightly. The members of the 5th team pushed the protective vehicle and entered the shelter first. Soren stood at the entrance, staring at the screen in front of him. The screen showed the team members' first-person perspective. His hands were in his trouser pockets, tightly holding a round spherical object. Team 1, safe. Report to the captain. We are about to explore the 2nd floor. Through the perspective of the team members, Soren gradually discovered that his initial judgment was not necessarily accurate. This is not a shelter, because they found many glass bottles containing seeds in a very large room on the 2nd floor, and the bottles were labeled with the language of the Shang people. He had already analyzed the language of the Shang people, and immediately understood that this was a species preservation room. The glass bottles should be filled with inert gases, so that the seeds can remain active for a long time. In the room next door, there are more than 1,000 glass test tubes filled with dark liquids. When Captain Soren saw this test tube, he couldn't hold back any longer. He knew he had hit the jackpot this time. This metal house is a civilization record room. Civilization record room? Liemo asked. Is it similar to the seed bank built by humans on Earth in northern Norway? Yes and no. The big-headed Pajero answered very cooperatively. The seed bank of you humans on Earth only stores plant seeds on Earth. The civilization record room is built by some civilizations in the universe to record the history of civilization. It generally stores information about plants and animals on the planet, as well as historical records of civilization. Of course, not all civilizations have this kind of civilization room. It can even be said to be very rare. Do you know why Captain Soren is so excited? The big-headed Pajero suddenly asked. Liemo hesitated for a moment and replied, he can hand over those plant seeds and animal DNA to enrich your Pajero people's species warehouse. The big-headed Pajero man laughed. Wrong. Stories. The most valuable thing in the civilization record room is stories. It generally stores the true history of civilization. And the true history is stories. The big-headed Pajero man said a difficult sentence, but Liemo suddenly realized that there is a peculiar god-level civilization in the universe, the library civilization. The Pajero people can use the stories they collected to exchange various technologies and information with them. When opening the largest room, Captain Soren found that this might be his luckiest day ever, because countless metal plates with words appeared in front of him. This Shangran civilization used the most primitive method to record their civilization history. In fact, this is the 2nd time Soren has explored the civilization room of an alien civilization. The last time was on a planet that was almost completely destroyed by the Pajero Star Destroyer. Captain Soren confidently opened the record room, and what appeared in front of him was a magnetic box. That low-level civilization used their latest technology, electromagnetic recorder, when recording civilization. Unfortunately, when the Pajero launched the attack, they first ignited the electromagnetic storm of the star. All the magnetic materials on the surrounding planets turned into a pile of waste under the storm. Seeing the prey in hand turned into a pile of waste, Captain Soren was furious and sued the commander who was in charge of the invasion plan at the time to the military court. The most primitive may not be the most efficient, but it must be the most stable. The big-headed Pajero suddenly said a famous saying. Liamo nodded. He deeply agreed with this point. Just like the cars on Earth, some models have a very good reputation and are rarely prone to problems. Some cars, however, have a less good reputation and are frequent customers of repair shops. Upon closer inspection, it can be found that cars that rarely have problems generally use old technology and few electronic devices. In other words, this car has nothing to break except a steering wheel and 4 wheels. For the sake of driving experience, those models with rich configurations are equipped with many electronic devices and some new technologies that are not durable. Naturally, the probability of problems will increase greatly. Chapter 306, Mummy. Captain Soren began to translate the contents of the metal plate. It turns out that the owners of the twin planets are an intelligent race that calls themselves Modderman, but Soren still thinks it is appropriate to call them the dead people. After all, the Modderman, who have turned into piles of bones, can no longer refute it. The Modderman have a civilization history of more than 30,000 years. Their evolution process was completed on the opposite planet. There they experience the entire biological evolution process, gradually evolving from single-celled organisms to intelligent species. The entire galaxy seems to be unstable. Every 250,000 years, a massive white dwarf from outside the galaxy visits this galaxy. The orbits of the planets in the galaxy will undergo major changes under the pull of the local star and this uninvited guest. The distance between the twin planets gradually closes under the influence of double gravity. The Modorks at that time were in the primitive age, and the sudden appearance of the shining white star in the night sky brought them great panic. Unfortunately, their panic was not groundless. Looking up at the sky, the opposite planet became larger and larger. The gravity began to weaken, and there were several muffled sounds from the ground, which was the beginning of the breakage of the continental plate. The underground lava, without the restraint of the plates, roared from the ground to the sky, and a global volcanic eruption began. The entire planet was in flames, and billowing black smoke covered the sky. Deep in the ocean, the vibrating seabed discharged billions of tons of water. Tsunamis hundreds of meters high destroyed every coastal city, and in many low-lying areas, the seawater even flooded distant inland areas. In the first few hours of the disaster, more than 1 billion Mordorks had died in the natural disaster. Under the interaction of gravity, a strange astronomical landscape of tidal convection will occur between the two planets. The gravity of objects on the twin planets is offset by the gravity of the opposite planet, and the gases in the atmosphere begin to exchange between the two planets. The atmospheres began to merge. As the gravity gradually increased, the scale of tidal convection became larger and larger, and finally a super tornado with a diameter of several thousand meters appeared on the surface of the two planets. Wherever the tornado passed, the surface material was swept up to the sky and then transmitted to the opposite planet. As the disaster intensified, the super tornado began to rage on the surface of the planet. At this time, a tribal leader named Hum looked at the fertile fields flooded by the sea and roared. The tribe's food reserves were running low, and most of the young and strong Modder would drown in the flood. After the natural disaster, what awaited them would be hunger and becoming slaves of hostile tribes. The tornado was right in front of them, and a wild Z, exhausted from escaping, was dragged into the sky by the tornado and disappeared. Hum took a last look at the dilapidated stone house behind him, waved the bone stick in his hand, and resolutely walked into the tornado, followed by hundreds of tribal survivors. In this way, the Modder beasts were able to cross space and appear on the next planet before the spacecraft appeared. This Modder beast civilization teacher was really verbose, and the detailed records made Captain Soren lose his patience. The Academy of Sciences needed these stories, but he didn't. He just wanted to know the cause of death of the skeletons in the city ruins. Captain Soren crossed the rows of metal rows and went directly to the last row and began to translate again. Today is the day when the Mordorks collectively cheered, because under the auspices of the unparalleled and brilliant scientist Morado, the quantum generator was finally successfully developed. From then on, the Mordor people began to formally control quantum, and took a step further in listening to the secrets of the universe. Unfortunately, after the generator successfully produced particles that could maintain quantum states at room temperature and pressure, the great scientist Morado suddenly fainted, which cast a shadow on the hearts of the Mordor orcs who were immersed in joy. Without the great scientist, can the ceremony be held normally in a few days? The reason may be related to the quantum generator. Captain Soren keenly noticed where the accident happened. He came to the last metal plate. Unlike the neat words engraved on the previous metal plate, the words on this one looked very messy and varied in depth. Even some blurred words could only be guessed by Captain Soren. Oh my god. What happened in the outside world? In the wireless real-time image, the Mordor orcs who were participating in the civilization ceremony fainted at the same time. Just like rows of chestnuts and wheat being silently harvested by unmanned harvesters. It's terrible. There was no echo in the pager. The guardian of history that has been passed down for thousands of years has disappeared. The 18 ways of contacting the outside world installed in the civilization room have no echo. Who can tell me what happened outside? Are all the Mordor orcs dead? How could this happen? No, I have to follow the civilization emergency manual and start to enter the protection state. Maybe, when I wake up, or this is just a dream. Future Mordor orcs, when you see this, please remember my name, Civilization Master Perix. Captain Soren frowned. As expected, all the Mordor orcs on the planet lost their lives at the same time. Only the Civilization Master survived because he was 10,000 meters underground. At this time, the voice of a team member came from the intercom. Captain, we found a life support cabin in the corner of the lowest level, and there is a shriveled corpse in the cabin. Soren walked down quickly. Perhaps the answer to the question was in the corpse. When he came to the life support cabin, the team members had already installed the detection equipment. Start a full range scan. Soren gave the order. Beep, beep, beep. The screen of the instrument showed that everything was normal. Soren breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't want to encounter the kind of monster that was extremely powerful under the effect of bioelectricity. Get ready. Beep beep beep. He was about to give a new order when the detection instrument sounded a rapid alarm. Captain, this mummy seems to have weak signs of life. The team member in charge of the detection exclaimed. Captain Soren subconsciously took out his weapon and aimed it at the life support cabin. A mummy that has been lying here for at least tens of thousands of years actually has signs of life. What a joke. The mummy in front of him was still lying there motionless. Captain Soren breathed a sigh of relief and asked, did you see it wrong? Impossible. The instrument shows that every once in a while, 0.0001 milligrams of gas will be exhaled from the inside of this corpse. He is alive. The team member answered decisively. Soren carefully checked the instrument and the situation was true. There was indeed a representative of the Mordor orc civilization in front of him. On this planet without any animals, there was actually an intelligent and civilized creature alive. He was overwhelmed. According to the Star Observer manual, when this happens, the mission should be immediately handed over to the Foreign Affairs Department, although their final approach is likely to be the same. Otherwise, Captain Soren's hand gently touched the weapon switch. Captain, don't. Several team members next to him saw what he was thinking. Captain Soren hesitated for a long time. Notify the department. Then, he returned to the surface of the planet without hesitation. After handing over the work to the civilization ambassador team sent by the Pajero Foreign Affairs Department, Captain Soren, who left the twin planets on a spaceship, took a last look at the planet full of green and sighed deeply. He knew that he would never be able to find out the secret of the simultaneous death of the Mordor orcs. Chapter 307. Humanity is only a thin line away from extinction. On the high platform, the big-headed Pajero stopped telling the story. You haven't answered my question yet, Liemo asked anxiously. The alien told so many stories about Captain Soren's exploration of the twin planets, but he didn't explain what the darkness that had appeared in his mind was. Grey fog rolled. After the Pajero Foreign Affairs Department took over briefly, the control of the twin planets and the mummy was handed over to a special team. The big-headed Pajero continued to speak. Unfortunately, there is no name of this team in the archives. I will temporarily use the X on your Earth to represent the unknown. On the second cosmic day, after arriving at the twin planets, the X detachment dispatched 3 reorganized fleets to surround the entire galaxy. On the fifth cosmic day, when the sun's rays shone on the 2 green planets, the X detachment evacuated the twin planets with a report. On the sixth cosmic day, there was no green planet in that space, leaving only countless planet debris floating in space. Did they destroy the 2 planets? Although Liemo was aware of the outcome of the story, he did not expect the Pajero to be so decisive. Perhaps, in a dangerous universe, iron and blood are the way to survive. Big-headed Pajero continued to narrate. In the report submitted by Team X, they found that there was a dark existence in the brain of the shriveled corpse. This dark existence does not have the characteristics of matter, and strangely, it does not have the characteristics of energy. Its essence is a sequence of information full of delirium. What is an information sequence? Liemo asked in confusion. In human science, matter and energy constitute the entire world. What will you see if you take a stone and throw it into the water? The big-headed Pajero did not answer, but raised a new question. When a stone is thrown into the water, it will naturally produce ripples. Liemo gave the answer. The existence of this wave is the most basic information carrier, which means that this movement is in a certain order, and this order is information. The big-headed Pajero explained, all matter goes from order to disorder, and the entropy increases, which means the loss of information sequence. And the essence of civilization development is to increase the amount of information of one's own civilization, by destroying more information sequences. Liemo understood. Information sequence is the information sequence without energy. This dark information sequence can devour the intelligence of intelligent creatures or all animals. Big-headed Pajero said. Liemo had experienced all of this personally, and he asked, so what is the reason for the appearance of the dark information sequence? In the report of the X detachment, a point of view is mentioned, that is, when a civilization first steps into the quantum threshold, they give birth to the first particle in the experiment, and the resulting quantum resonance fluctuations may lead to a special information sequence dark existence. The big-headed Pajero continued to explain. Of course, this kind of resonant fluctuation cannot be discovered by low-level civilizations. In order to confirm the existence of this fluctuation, the Academy of Sciences once kept a 0.3 level civilization in captivity, and carried out technological catalysis on this civilization. When the 0.3 level civilization discovered the mystery of quantum, it couldn't wait to conduct the first experiment. At this time, in the outer space of the planet, the Pajero ultra-sensitive monitoring system hidden behind the planet successfully detected a special quantum fluctuation. The Pajero Academy of Sciences named this quantum fluctuation the quantum initial wave. The quantum initial wave announced to the universe that this civilization already has the ability to control the microscopic world and has the possibility of communicating with civilizations. But at the same time, it will also attract some special existences, such as the Dark Information series. Only after entering the quantum era can one be qualified to communicate with external civilizations. Liemo kept this sentence in mind. Whether there is alien life in space has puzzled generations of scientists. There are about 250 billion stars in the Milky Way, and 700 billion, 7x10^22, stars in the observable universe. Even if intelligent life appears on planets around these stars with a very small probability, there should be a considerable number of civilizations in the Milky Way alone. Judging from the current speed of human technological development, humans can fully possess the ability to fly out of the Milky Way within 1 million years. So as long as aliens evolved 1 million years earlier than humans, they are completely likely to have arrived on Earth, and it is very likely that they have settled down somewhere on Earth. But the fact is that humans have not encountered any alien civilizations, as if the entire lonely universe exists only for humans on Earth. Now Liemo understands that it is not that there are no alien civilizations in the universe, but that the communication of civilizations also requires a threshold, and this threshold is the quantum primary wave. Just like people will communicate with intelligent animals such as pet dogs, and will not pay attention to stones on the roadside. Of course, not every civilization will encounter dark existences. Just like us Pajero people, when we stepped into the quantum field, nothing abnormal happened. Team X did not explain where the dark existence came from and how to deal with it. However, the Great 16th Elder of the Academy of Sciences attached a special note to the end of the report. He called this dark existence the devouring lice. At this point, the big-headed Pajero slowed down his speech and said almost word by word, the devouring lice comes from another universe, and the way to deal with it is to rebuke it. Another universe? Rebuke? Liemo felt that the big-headed Pajero was telling a lame science fiction story. The evil existence from another universe could be killed with just a few simple words? Unbelievable. Isn't this too unscientific? This was the first time Liemo questioned the science of aliens. Ha 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 ha. A burst of laughter came from the podium. What is science? Science is the truth of all things in the world. As long as it is real, we Pajero people are willing to regard it as science. Liemo's heart is sincere. What a domineering scientific declaration, but this cannot explain his inner doubts. But, can a simple sentence really eliminate the terrifying extraterritorial evil? I have just said that the existence of darkness is a special information sequence. The big-headed Pajero man seemed to be disdainful of explanation. And what is language? Language is also an information sequence. And, I used language to directly rebuke its name. What is a name? The name is the informationization of the entity. At the quantum level, it is closely connected with the entity. For example, you, Liemo's entity, are closely connected with this name. Hearing this, Liemo suddenly realized that in the lives of human beings on Earth, there is also a mysterious sixth sense. For example, if someone calls your name from a long distance, your ears don't hear it, but you will vaguely perceive it. The curse technique that was popular in ancient China was to stick a piece of paper with the name of the cursed person on a straw man. Then the caster pierced the straw man with a silver needle and chanted a vicious curse. In some religious sects, there is a practice of stopping talking, which is called silent Zen. According to legend, people who practice silent Zen diligently have a high chance of coming true with the first sentence they say. The devouring lice comes from another universe and has the terrifying ability to be invisible and devour spiritual wisdom, but it also has a biggest disadvantage. That is, it can be neutralized by the words of rebuke, which is also an information sequence. Liemo, who understood everything, broke out in a cold sweat. If there was no rebuke from the big-headed Pajero, the dark existence would spread to the world after devouring spiritual wisdom. Maybe by then, what happened on the twin planets will be repeated on Earth. Humans are only a thin line away from extinction. Thank you. Liemo sincerely thanked the big-headed Pajero. On the high platform, an ungrateful voice came. No need. After all, if you die, our Pajero civilization will disappear. Alas, with a long sigh, Liemo returned to the ward again. Boss, what are you daydreaming about? Zaya King handed over a peeled apple. It's okay, I was just thinking that human beings are so lucky to have developed to this point. He took the apple, put it in his mouth, and took a bite. The juice of the apple instantly touched the taste buds on his tongue. This real feeling of sweet and sour is so good. Zaya King looked at his thoughtful eyes, hesitated for a moment, and took out a few documents. Boss, this is a performance report of marketing technology this month. 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 1 billion, 1 billion. Liemo counted the digits of the net profit number on the document, and the apple in his mouth was no longer sweet. 3.2 billion. 3.2 billion net profit in 1 month. He asked in surprise with his eyes wide open. Yes, the net profit of marketing technology this month has created a historical high. Zaya King was very happy when she saw his excited expression. Liemo looked at the astronomical net profit on the report, and his mood suddenly became heavy. The broader the shoulders, the greater the responsibility. What should be done with this money to maximize its value? You must immediately notify Zhang Yazi and formulate an expanded education charity fund plan to expand the funding to all colleges and universities across the country. The most valuable investment in the world is the investment in education. Chapter 308 Haggard Brother Hey. Mosey Technology Laboratory. Ziashan Liemo looked at the lake in the park through the glass window of his office. In the lake, a family of 3 was rowing. The man who looked like a father was rowing hard, and the woman who looked like a mother was holding the naughty child tightly with her hands. Although he couldn't hear the sound, Liam could imagine the bursts of laughter in his mind. Is this life? Liam sighed. Unconsciously, he was getting further and further away from this ordinary life. Knock knock. Boss, this is the list of the new batch of equipment in the laboratory. Please sign your name on it. Knock knock. Boss, this is the project budget for this month. Please sign your name here. Knock knock. Ocean University sent an invitation letter inviting you to give a speech. Knock knock. When it was time to get off work, Liam rubbed his wrist. Today he signed a total of 15 reports and rejected invitations from 5 universities. As for the gold batch conjecture, there was no progress. Although these mundane affairs greatly affected his progress in solving problems, Liam knew that what he had to do required him to be more than just a scientist who stayed in the laboratory all day. If the unknown meteorite that is speeding towards the Earth in the starry sky is really an alien spaceship, perhaps only the combined power of the world can compete with it. At that time, if he cannot have a voice that resounds throughout the world, how can he convince those politicians abroad? As night fell, the lights in the experimental building gradually went out. Liam got up and washed his face. He wanted to cheer up. He first adopted the idea of exceptional sets, taking a large integer x on the number axis, and then looking forward from x. That is, the gold batch conjecture is true for almost all even numbers. But almost is not absolute. Mathematics is a rigorous science, and the path of exceptional sets is not feasible. Liam took a dozen new manuscripts again. This time he wanted to verify the 3' number theorem. If the gold batch conjecture for even numbers is correct, then the conjecture for odd numbers is also correct. It is known that the odd number n can be expressed as the sum of 3' numbers. If it can be proved that one of the 3' numbers is very small, for example, the first prime number can always be 3, then we have proved the gold batch conjecture for even numbers. Study the 3' number theorem with a small prime variable. This small prime variable does not exceed n to the power of. Liam's goal is to prove that can be 0. After 10 hours of calculation, he announced that the idea of using the 3' number theorem to solve the gold batch conjecture had failed. Sunrise and sunset, sunset and sunrise. The desk in the office was full of manuscripts, but fortunately the area of the new office was large enough. When it was designed, a large open space was deliberately left for him to place his calculation manuscripts. Since the gold batch conjecture was proposed, countless mathematicians have been working on this problem. Many fantastic solutions have been proposed. Although these solutions have different ideas, they have a common feature, which is to weaken the conditions of the gold batch conjecture. After proving these weakened versions, they try to fully prove the conjecture. In 1920, Brown of Norway proved 9 plus 9. Subsequently, various weakened versions of the gold batch conjecture such as 7 plus 7, 6 plus 6, 5 plus 5, 4 plus 4, 1 plus 3 were proved. In 1960, Chen Shuxian proved 1 plus 2, which pushed the weakening method to a climax, and was only one step away from the genuine gold batch conjecture 1 plus 1. However, more than 60 years have passed, and no mathematician has made any breakthrough in proving the conjecture. Using the weakening method, 1 plus 2 is already the limit. This is the conclusion that Liam came to after wasting a week. Looking at the manuscripts on the floor, a sense of frustration surged in his heart. However, it is not without gain. At least he knows that it is impossible to prove the gold batch conjecture using the weakening method. Knock knock. Liam tried his best to calm down. Come in. Boss. Hey Jen, with a haggard face, pushed the door open. His originally dark skin became a little red. The beard that had not been trimmed for a long time hung on his lips in all directions. Only the sharp eyes, after entering the office, observed everywhere, as if subconsciously looking for loopholes. Are you personally responsible for the security of factories in various places? Liam looked at his haggard look and understood in his heart. Jess showed a simple smile on his face and scratched his head with his hand. Seeing him like this, Liam shook his head. The current Mosey technology is no longer the small laboratory of Yanda University. Its industries are distributed all over the country. Marxing Battery has 21 large battery factories, and the quantum chip base is also under construction. Unlike conventional industrial factories, these factories are high-tech factories and require strict security measures, especially the quantum chip base. Although Liemo intends to keep a low profile, the news that the commercial quantum chip has been successfully trial produced has been disclosed by the media, which immediately attracted great attention at home and abroad. Recently, the most published articles in foreign media are cloud evaluations of quantum chips. In the writings of those crooked editors, the latest achievement of MOSI technology, quantum chips, is a kind of hype, absolutely without use value, and is another example of defrauding funds. At first, when Liemo saw such reports in newspapers, he wanted the foreign propaganda department to make a clarification, but then realized that these foreign media actually help MOSI technology a lot. His guiding principle is to accumulate grain and slowly become king. When the quantum chip is launched, all doubts will be silenced. Although those chip bosses took turns to question the authenticity of quantum chips on TV programs, the foreign faces that kept appearing near the quantum chip base betrayed them. These foreigners, under the banner of tourism, wandered all day on a dirt slope with neither flowers nor grass. The only dead tree was photographed dozens of times by these people in one day. Because from this dirt slope, you can see a glimpse of the internal conditions of the base through the cracks in the wall. Liemo had known about this loophole for a long time, but he did not instruct the security personnel to plug the loophole, because it is better to dredge than to plug. If these foreigners can't get some field data back to report, who knows what crooked ideas they will come up with. Although MOSI Technology's strict security measures are not afraid of various means, it is inevitable that they will have an impact on the surrounding residents. Moreover, the place that can be seen on the dirt slope is just the domestic waste treatment pool of the chip base, being responsible for security work in so many places at the same time. It is no wonder that Brother Hay is so haggard. Brother Hay is a sharp knife. It can't be worn out because of these jobs. This is not a solution. Liemo thought for a moment and said, nominate a few employees, and I'll ask Xiaoking's our department to conduct a comprehensive assessment of them. After they pass the assessment, you can hand over the specific security matters to them. Heijie's face changed. Boss, are you going to fire me? Liemo heard this and smiled bitterly. How could that be? You set up a new department to manage them. In this way, you can spare your energy to complete the important task I've given you. When he heard about the important task, Heijie immediately became excited. What is it? Chapter 309 originally rejected. There is an old Chinese saying that it is difficult to know a person's heart. It is easy to get money, but it is difficult to buy loyalty. In this universe, on this earth, the people that Liemo trusts most are his parents and his brothers in the laboratory. Of course, especially Brother Hay. Although Liemo did not go to the scene in person during the hostage incident, he can imagine the dangerous situation at that time. Brother Hay could take a group of old brothers and risk their lives to rescue the hostages for his words. This is loyalty. On the other hand, Jeges has not made any progress, and Liemo does not have much time to waste. At this time, he needs a capable person to help. Who is more suitable than Brother Hay, a professional? So Liemo felt that there was no need to hide the matter of Professor Wu Sun from him. Result: after quietly listening to a series of strange events such as how Professor Wu Sun was taken away from China by the Sagate High IQ Club, how he mysteriously died in the United States, and then how Liemo received a mysterious note at the Nobel dinner, Brother Hay's expression was as Liemo expected, a face full of confusion. 10 minutes later, fuck, there are such awesome organizations in the world. Heijie, who always taught his men to be civilized, burst out with a swear word. The triads, the elders, and the Yamagachigumi of the island country are nothing compared to this Sagate. Liemo agreed with Heijie's words. Since ancient times, those who steal a hook will be executed, and those who steal a country will be made marquesas. There have also been many secret organizations in human history, such as the Priory of Xunshan, which has many celebrities such as Newton, Hugo and Leonardo da Vinci, the Skull and Bones Society of Ivy League, the Mafia of Italy, and the Assassins League, that has caused panic among the dignitaries throughout Europe. but they are either just a loose organization or have become slaves to money. Everyone talks about fame and fortune, but this Sackgate organization is different. It pays a high price to collect these high IQ children from all over the world and then secretly trains them. It is obvious that it is not for fame and fortune, which is the most terrifying. What do you want me to do? Heija has recovered from his initial shock. His eyes showed an unbearable hunger, just like a hungry wolf. Liemo nodded slightly, and he was very pleased with his performance. According to Wu Sanwa's life trajectory, make a field visit and look for any clues. People leave their names behind, and wild beasts leave their voices behind. Wherever they pass by, they will leave traces. No matter how mysterious the Sackgate is, no matter how powerful it is impossible to erase all clues. Okay, I'm ready to go now. Brother He agreed immediately. Take 2 assistants with you, report on time every day, and pay attention to safety. After sending Brother He away, Liemo had one less thing on his mind, but he still had an important thing to do, which was to go to Qingdao University to accept the position of a lifetime visiting professor. He originally refused this honor. Who would have thought that Qingdao University would move out their old alumnus, Mr. Wang? That's right, when Liemo received Mr. Wang's persuasive call, he was so shocked that his mouth couldn't close. On the phone, Mr. Wang's words made Liemo give up his arrogance. Don't you want more talents from Qingdao University in the laboratory? It is true that the young people in the Mosey Technology Laboratory are mainly graduates from Yan University, but he has long been drooling over Qingdao University graduates who are mainly in science and engineering. However, according to the personnel department, when the Qingdao University students learned that the owner of the laboratory was Professor Liemo of Yan University during the recruitment, they turned around and left without hesitation. Liemo knew that this was because Qingdao University and Yan University had a deep grudge, and those graduates were unwilling to work for the professor next door. Thinking of this, Liemo immediately changed his original idea. For the current Mosey Technology Laboratory, talents are too important. In order to expand the laboratory, he is willing to condescend to accept the position of a lifetime visiting professor of Qingdao University. Boss, please take a look at this dress, Palani. Under Zaya King's guidance, Liemo changed more than a dozen sets of clothes in a row. It seems that the collar is a bit tight, which can't set off your majestic figure. Zaya King pulled his collar with her hand and said with a frown, "It's not tight. Just this set. Go and prepare the car. The leaders of Qingdao University must be waiting anxiously." Liemo immediately interrupted her. Just kidding. His arms hurt from changing clothes, and he was very clear about his body shape, which could only be described as skinny, not at all tall and majestic. Qingdao University. The diligent Qingdao University students got up from their warm beds at daybreak. They knew that to maintain sufficient competitiveness in a prestigious university like Qingdao University, talent alone was far from enough. Today seemed a little different. In front of the library building, the school gate seemed to be hanging a red banner. Could it be that an internationally renowned scholar was visiting? Qingdao University had its own pride, and for general scholar exchanges, the school would not use a weapon like banners. Warmly welcome Qingdao University's tenured Professor Liemo to visit. Warmly welcome Yan University's visiting Professor Liemo to visit. The two banners with contradictory contents attracted the attention of the students. Is there really someone who can be a professor at Qingdao University and Yan University, two of the strongest universities in the country? A curious student stood in front of the banner and read it out loud. Professor Liemo. They were not unfamiliar with this signature professor of the neighboring school. On the day of the lottery, even the lady in the cafeteria put down her spoon and read the messages on her phone. What's the matter with this banner? It's Qingdao University and Yanda University. This is illogical. A computer science student was puzzled. Could it be that Professor Liemo of Yanda University has taken on the position of professor of Qingdao University? Soon, many students with school bags gathered in front of the banner. TSK, the banner must be printed wrong. Does Qingdao University need a second-hand professor? What did you say? Professor Liemo just won the Nobel Prize and has been rated as one of the 10 scientists with the greatest contributions in history. Isn't he qualified to be a tenured professor of Qingdao University? It's not a question of qualification. As a century-old prestigious university, Qingdao University must uphold its own honor. Seeing that a student displayed Liamo's achievements, the classmates' tone weakened a bit. How can it not be an honor to hire Professor Liamo? If other scientists had made such great achievements, they would have been poached by foreign countries with favorable conditions. But Professor Liamo has always regarded money as dirt and stayed in his motherland. That's because he is rich. I heard that the net profit of marketing technology is several billion per month. He would definitely not look down on the money from foreign countries. The classmate was also stubborn. Okay, you mentioned marketing technology. Then do you know the Liamo Education Fund? He has sponsored more than 500 students from poor families in our Qingdao University. Did you know that? The words of this supporter of Liamo attracted the support of some of the onlookers. That's right, there is a beneficiary of the Liamo Fund in our class. He comes from the mountainous area and his parents have lost their ability to work. We also tried to donate money for him, but it was a drop in the bucket. In order to make a living, he has to go out to work part-time every day. Now, the Liamo Education Fund has covered all his expenses for 4 years of college. A freshman spoke out. Really? Why isn't there any publicity in the school? If Professor Liamo has done so many good things, it should have been publicized in the news long ago. That's right, isn't that company's donation advertising? A questioning voice rang out in the crowd. You know what? The Liamo Education Foundation has special regulations that prohibit the true identity of the recipient from being disclosed to the outside world. My boyfriend is from Yanda, and this has become a well-known secret in Yanda. A girl stood up and said, Chapter 310 Qingda Ceremony. When Liamo arrived at the gate of Qingdao University by car, he found a strange sight. On both sides of the gate, hundreds of college students lined up on both sides of the road. The Qingdao University students on the left held a banner that read Qingdao University welcomes Professor Liamo's visit. The Qingdao University students on the right held a paper sign that read Qingdao University does not welcome second-hand professors from Yanda University. It was obvious that these signs were made in a hurry because they were printed on A4 paper in a printing house. The teacher in charge of reception could only helplessly turn his back to them, trying to make the smile on his face brighter, hoping that the big boss next door could ignore the discordant scene behind him. Boss, it seems that there are students in Qingdao University who don't welcome your arrival very much. Xia King's vision is as high as 1.5, and she saw something strange at a glance. She has never had a good impression of the arrogant Qingdao University, so she whispered in their ears at the right time. Liamo laughed heartily. It's right not to welcome it. I'm not RMB. How can I be loved by everyone? However, he still appreciated these students for bravely standing up and raising doubts. At the same time, he also wanted to give a thumbs up to the tolerance of the teachers of Qingdao University. Everything has two sides. No matter how beautiful the scenery is, some people may find it ugly. Besides, Liamo is just an ordinary person. Go back and ask Qingdao University for a list of students who hold signs in opposition at the gate. As the car passed through the welcoming crowd, Liamo explained to Xia King beside him. Xia King asked in surprise, are you going to retaliate? They are just students. Although she didn't like Qingdao University, she felt pity for these college students who were still inexperienced in the world. It's not that serious. Liamo said lightly, in the future, as long as it is a job fair of Mosey Technology, let the Human Resources Department screen out the students on this list in advance. Adults should be responsible for what they have done. Since these students have clearly stated that they do not welcome his arrival, Liamo thinks there is no need to let them work for him in grievance. Oh, Xia King was relieved. As a top-notch university, Qingdao University's graduates will naturally have no trouble finding jobs. It seems that the boss is throwing a tantrum, she thought secretly. Warm welcome. When the car stopped steadily at the door of the auditorium, there was a warm applause. Welcome. Welcome. Principal Fang of Qingdao University took the initiative to step forward and help Liamo open the car door. Thank you. Thank you. Liamo got out of the car and immediately returned the favor by shaking Principal Fang's hand tightly. A flash of light accompanied by a click sound. Please. Oh my god, what's going on? Liemo saw a red carpet extending to the center of the auditorium under his feet. Is this a red carpet show? CATV, CMTV, MGTV and even the logos of the 4 major agencies. He realized that there were many media reporters in the crowd around, recording with cameras. A recruitment meeting needs to be so grand. It seems that Qingdao University is well prepared. Liemo looked at Principal Fang more unconsciously. Unlike the young and vigorous president of Yan University, Principal Fang of Qingdao University has a head full of white hair and gold-rimmed glasses on his nose, which makes him look more elegant. His small eyes are narrowed. Hello, leaders of the Ministry of Education, friends from the media, and representatives of teachers and students. Principal Fang said in a clear voice, while holding the microphone. Today is a big day for Qingdao University. We have married a Nobel Prize winner. Liemo, another Nobel Prize winner, found that since he won the award, the first thing people mentioned when introducing him was the Nobel Prize. The Chinese people have too much of a Nobel complex, and Liemo sighed in his heart. At this time, Principal Fang's brief introduction finally ended. Finally, he clapped his hands and said, Professor Liemo will serve as a lifetime visiting professor of Qingdao University from today. Everyone applaud and welcome him. As soon as the voice fell, there was a warm applause from the audience. Principal Fang's face became a little more ruddy. Now, on behalf of Qingdao University, I will present a letter of appointment to Professor Liemo. As he said, he took a golden letter of appointment from the etiquette lady's tray. The two of them took a group photo holding the letter of appointment. Now, please welcome Professor Liemo to speak. Everyone welcomes him. Principal Fang took the initiative to give up the C position. Liemo picked up the microphone and cleared his throat. Hello everyone, I'm Liemo. What Principal Fang said just now about a great day is too flattering. If we talk about a great day, today should be my great day. It is my great honor to be a lifetime visiting professor at a century-old prestigious university like Qingdao University. Everyone is carrying the flower sedan. Qingdao University has made such a big show, so Liemo naturally wants to return the favor. Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, an unprecedented warm applause rang out in the auditorium. The time that followed entered garbage time. After a round of mutual flattery, a group of young Qingdao University female students presented flowers. All the links of a ceremony were complete. Just as Liemo was holding flowers in his hand, ready to listen to the host announce the end of the ceremony, President Fang came to the stage with a microphone in hand. Professor Liemo's latest scientific research achievement, the quantum chip, can be said to have shocked the academic circles at home and abroad. At the same time, some scholars have also raised doubts about whether the quantum state can be maintained at room temperature and pressure. There are so many journalists here, and they must be curious about this question. Why don't we ask Professor Liemo to answer the reporters' questions on today's stage? What do you think? Cheers came from the audience, and even a few foreign bearded men couldn't wait to raise their hands. Facing President Fang's expectant eyes, Liemo smiled bitterly. In just 2 hours, he felt for the second time that President Fang was a powerful figure, especially President Fang's squinting eyes, which made it difficult for outsiders to see his true thoughts through his eyes. Liemo knew that after this press conference, the outside world would definitely closely link him with Qingdao University, because the quantum chip, as the first quantum state-man-made object controlled by humans, would definitely leave a strong mark in the history of science. By then, the history books would definitely record that Qingdao University's lifelong visiting professor announced that humans had opened the quantum era on the day of his appointment. In fact, foreign scientists and chip tycoons have long known the authenticity of MOSI Technologies' quantum chip, but they cannot admit it. Once admitted, the authenticity and advancement of quantum chips will be shown to the world, which will be a fatal blow to the electronic computer chips on which they rely for their livelihood. Therefore, they can only discredit the authenticity of quantum chips in the media on the one hand, and wait on the other hand, waiting for quantum chips to expose weaknesses. Then they will use the media empire in their hands to infinitely publicize and expand this weakness, so that consumers who do not know the truth will be deterred. Win a glimmer of hope for electronic chips. This is an open conspiracy. However, this open conspiracy is based on the weakness of quantum chips. But do quantum chips have weaknesses? Liemo doesn't know. He only knows that it is an inevitable trend for quantum chips to replace electronic chips, and all hostile forces that dare to stop them will be swept into the garbage dump of history. Because, in the face of absolute strength, all conspiracies and open plots are in vain. Now the quantum chip has been successfully taped out. Under the leadership of the Ministry of Science and Technology, several major domestic mobile phone manufacturers have also completed the mobile phone adaptation of quantum chips. The new version of the Starry Sky mobile phone system that perfectly matches the quantum chip has been compiled by the artificial intelligence SYNOPSIS. Soon, a new mobile phone equipped with both the quantum chip and the Starry Sky mobile phone system will be released. Therefore, Liemo feels that the time is ripe. He wants to use this stage to officially declare war on those foreign chip giants. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 311 The Quantum Era begins. In the brightly lit auditorium, hundreds of Chinese and foreign reporters looked at a young man on the stage with eager eyes. After a long time, the young man showed a warm smile on his face and said something that made them excited. If you have any questions, just ask directly. Everything is ready, and there is no shortage of east wind. After completing the wide grain collection, Mosey Technology is now ready to wear its own crown. Excuse me, is it true that Mosey Technology has successfully developed a commercial quantum chip? The reporter from NBC was lucky enough to grab the first question opportunity. The exciting moment has come, and the long-awaited quantum era of human civilization is about to begin. But at this time Liemo's heart is full of peace. He said lightly, "It's true. We have found a way to keep particles in a quantum state permanently at normal temperature and pressure." Fuck. It's true. It's amazing. There was a noisy discussion from the audience. Although they had already seen the unusualness from the nervous reactions of major chip companies, the personal admission from the head of Mosey Technology had a different meaning. Can we say that we humans have already entered the quantum age? A reporter wearing thick glasses raised his hand. Liemo took a look and saw that the reporter should be from Nature. They had met once in Norway. You can say that. But our way of using the quantum properties of particles is still at the initial stage, and there is still a long way to go before we can fully master it. Although they are both airplanes, the Wright brothers' wooden airplane and Boeing's Boeing 787 are very different. He wants to tell the world through these reporters that we should not be blindly optimistic about the development of quantum technology. Another reporter raised his hand high. It is rumored that using quantum computers can crack bank passwords in an instant. Is that true? Liemo nodded slightly. This is a good question. In some popular science articles by entertainment scientists, quantum computers have the ability to crack all passwords. From now on, the current password system of mankind is no longer safe. But the fact is that the characteristics of quantum computers are very suitable for prime factorization, which may have miraculous effect in cracking RSA passwords. But modern cryptographers have built a complete public key system, and asymmetric passwords are popular. Even the simplest password system will limit the number of attempts to log into the password, so quantum computers are just better computers in terms of password cracking. He tried to slow down his speech. These are all exaggerations. If I had a quantum computer, I could crack the passwords of the whole world. Wouldn't I have already become the richest man in the world? Do I still need to stand here to sell you chips? There was a burst of laughter from the audience. Indeed, if quantum computers are as magical as those experts say, then this inventor should secretly hide in the dark and use quantum computers to crack the bank passwords of the whole world and take all the wealth for himself. Isn't it beautiful? Liemo waved his hands to indicate to the audience that he had not finished speaking. However, due to the special computing logic structure, quantum computers have a unique advantage in cracking large factors. So I would like to advise those companies that use RSA passwords to change their password setting strategies as soon as possible. Everything has two sides, for good or for evil. In the hands of a chef, a knife can cook delicious dishes. A knife in the hands of a killer can take someone's life. Especially for this kind of newly born high-tech product, there are always some people who are good at taking shortcuts and try to use it to get something for nothing. Can you describe the approximate performance of quantum chips? Asked a bearded reporter wearing a CBL hat. Liemo thought for a while. Let's put it this way, the performance of the first generation quantum chip we use on mobile phones is equivalent to the sum of 5 Cooley 9 10,900x. Of course, this comparison is unfair, because the computing logic of quantum chips is different from that of electronic chips, and its logical structure is more complex, and its performance is better when solving fuzzy calculations. Quantum chips on mobile phones? The sum of 5i9 10,900x can solve complex problems faster? Oh my god, quantum chips are so powerful? But some reporters were keenly aware of the information revealed in Liemo's words just now. Did you just say that you have made quantum chips suitable for mobile phones? In their impression, chips are a slow industry, and it takes a long process from research and development to production. But the head of marketing technology just mentioned the first generation of quantum chips. Liemo nodded. Yes, next month, mobile phones equipped with quantum chips will be available. Then everyone can experience the charm of quantum phones for themselves. On the stage, he did not forget to promote quantum phones. After all, behind these reporters stood a huge media empire. What he said now will spread to every corner of the world. This kind of free publicity is a waste. I wonder which brand of mobile phone is lucky enough to get the first release of quantum chips. Fruit? 4 stars? This is a reporter from Digital News. He is a senior reporter and part-time Big V. He usually cleans up some mobile phone manufacturers. Such a big thing, but he didn't get any news, which made him feel annoyed. In the future, double the articles for cleaning up. He made a decision in his heart. This question made Liemo slightly startled. Is it not appropriate to expose the partners here? However, looking at the expectant eyes of the audience, he knew that this would be another good advertising opportunity. Constrained by the production capacity of the first generation of quantum chips, we at Mozy Technology have only selected several mobile phone companies including Kiliang, Lanlf, Weeha, Meizu, and Xinxing as the first batch of partners. As soon as he finished speaking, a reporter from ABC raised his hand. Kiliang, Lanlf, Weeha, Meizu, and Xinxing are all mobile phone manufacturers in China. Why are none of the foreign mobile phone manufacturers such as Fruit and Xinxing not selected? Is it because they are not strong enough? Or is there nationality discrimination when Mozy Technology chooses partners? When the reporter spoke aggressively, Liemo knew that the visitor was not friendly. Sure enough, without saying anything, he first put a big hat of discrimination. But Mozy Technology has integrated domestic mobile phone manufacturers, so there is no need to rely on others. Liemo smiled at the angry reporter. As a high-tech company, Mozy Technology has always been committed to the welfare of all mankind, and will treat any company equally. The main reason for choosing these domestic mobile phone manufacturers is that quantum chips have not been verified by consumers. When we develop better quantum chips, we will definitely give priority to cooperating with large foreign companies. It was getting late, and the host signaled to the reporters that there was one last chance to ask questions. The audience was crowded, and the reporters raised their hands high. Who will get the first place? Liemo pointed to a female reporter with a pretty face and long hair. Me. The female reporter didn't react for a while. Liemo smiled and nodded to encourage. Then I'm a reporter from Women's Friend. My question is, what is the name of this quantum chip? The female reporter blushed and asked hesitantly. As expected, she was a female reporter with a clear mind. The senior reporters around her were complaining that she wasted a precious opportunity. Liemo frowned. Oops, I forgot to name it. The members of the laboratory have been calling it Quantum Chip 7568, and it is obvious that this name is not suitable for commercial use. The people in the audience looked at him with an embarrassed expression. Could this big man have not yet named this pioneering product of the quantum era? Awesome. Really awesome. After a long time, Liemo slowly said, Cation. The name of this quantum chip is Cation. Cation, the creation of the world. The reporters showed a thoughtful expression on their faces. Chapter 312 Stock Market Storm. At 9:30 in the evening, the night had already fallen in China, which is located in the Eastern Hemisphere. People who have been tired for a day have started a colorful nightlife. They gather in groups of 3 or 5, order some local dishes, drink a little wine, and enjoy life. These Chinese people who are enjoying their lives don't know that at this moment, the largest stock market crash in history is about to take place. The wealth of countless families has vanished in an instant, and the lives of many people have been cast into a dark shadow from today. As usual, Madoff, chairman of the board of directors of Nasdaq stock market, arrived at the exchange on time at 8:30 in a luxury car. When he entered the exchange, he smiled and nodded to the new female college student at the front desk. "Mr. Madoff, good morning." The female college student stood up excitedly. "Good morning, Miss Skelly." Madoff walked closer and saw clearly the nameplate she pinned on her chest. Skelly looked at his back as he left and was secretly happy in her heart. On the first day of work, she was favored by the big boss. "Mr. Madoff, good morning." "Jack, good morning. Good job." "Mr. Madoff, good morning." "Lucy, you've become even more beautiful today." Along the way, Madoff changed his usual serious style and gained the gratitude of many subordinates. But they didn't know that the coffee cup in Madoff's hand was filled with a double dose of bitter coffee. He didn't sleep all night last night. Entering the office, Madoff carefully locked the door. Turn on the financial news. 2 young men who just graduated from Ivy League are talking about the stock market. The global economy is improving, and the bull market is coming. Change the channel. ABC Morning News. The female host in cool clothes is reporting that firefighters have sent more than 10 fire trucks to save the poor kitten in the tree. "Poor kitten. Who will save me?" Madoff muttered to himself. Change the channel. All TV programs have been flipped through by him, and Madoff doesn't seem to find what he wants to see. Turn off the TV and turn on the computer. Cable TV, Fox News, and Fox News. The front pages of these websites are all reporting about a big butt actress who hooked up with a strong NBA guy. It's incredible. They actually control all the news media. Madoff's expression became more and more desperate. He unscrewed the coffee cup and drank the double black coffee. Beep, beep, beep. The red phone on the desk was like a bomb about to explode. Madoff hesitated. Beep, beep, beep. The person on the other end of the red phone would not give up. In the end, Madoff picked up the bomb with shaking hands. "The market will open in half an hour. What do you think?" A hoarse voice came from the phone, as if his vocal cords had been cut off. Madoff's face turned red and his lips trembled. "Many people will die if you do this, please." Before he could finish, a hoarse voice interrupted him. "Hey, now you have a guilty conscience. Have you forgotten what you did secretly back then? Once it is exposed, death will be the greatest luxury for you." The threatened Madoff's eyes flashed a gleam. "What happened back then is a long time ago. What if you know about it? Do you have evidence?" "Ha ha ha." A shrill laugh came from the phone. "Wonderful. Perfect. You are worthy of being the one that the boss feels sorry for, but I have a videotape here. Do you want to watch it together?" "The kid's name is Jack, right?" Hearing the word Jack, Madoff seemed to be electrocuted. He trembled all over, and the gleam in his eyes gradually dissipated. "You all planned it long ago. Of course, otherwise, with so many senior economists, why would they choose a country boy like you?" The hoarse voice seemed to have lost patience. "Do what I said last night right away, otherwise, your wife and children. You know the boss's temper." Beep. Beep. Madoff held up the hung up phone and fell into deep thought. Everything was a conspiracy. He joined Nasdaq as a newcomer, and in less than 10 years, he grew into the top leader of the world's largest stock exchange. He always thought that all this was achieved by his own efforts and talent. It turned out that he had long been reduced to someone else's pawn. Now, he was about to become a discarded piece. Madoff glanced at the clock hanging on the wall. It was 9:20, and there were still 10 minutes before the stock market opened. He couldn't hesitate. He rubbed his face hard. He picked up the intercom and dialed a number. "Cornell, it's me, Madoff. Delay the stock technology of Intel. Gotong, fruit, and 4 stars by 3600 seconds." The person on the other end of the phone seemed to have raised an objection. Madoff's face showed a hideous look. "Just do as I say. 3,600 seconds. Not even a second less. I know you can do it. 9:30 the stock exchange opens. Technology stocks, which have been in a state of slight decline for some time, finally showed signs of recovery yesterday, closing up 2%. This attracted many experienced retail investors. In the stock market, there is a golden rule: buy when prices rise, and not when they fall. Buy when prices rise slightly and not when prices fall slightly. Because small increases are often a precursor to big increases, and small decreases are followed by big decreases. What's more, Intel, IM, Gotting, Fruit, and 4-Star, 4 supergiants, suddenly announced at the same time last night that they would release good news. This further boosted the confidence of countless stockholders. Sure enough, as soon as the stock market opened, some small sell orders were tentatively placed in the market, but the stock prices of these technology stocks still rose slightly. This is because the big dealers are absorbing chips. People are always good at deceiving themselves. 10 minutes later, a large number of buy orders poured into technology stocks. It's up. It's up. The technology stock market is rising straight up. Perfect K-line. It's going to explode. Crazy stockholders, buying crazily. The opportunity to get rich overnight is right in front of you. 20 minutes later, technology stocks soared 8%. There is still potential. Keep buying. Billions of dollars poured into Nasdaq, and tens of billions of dollars fled Nasdaq. Of course, Madoff, who made all this happen, didn't pay attention to all this. He stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass curtain, looking at the prosperous Wall Street under his feet, with people coming and going, and cars flowing continuously. People are just too greedy. Fairness. Is there fairness in this world? He murmured in a low voice. Tick, tick, tick. The clock on the wall pointed to 10:30. All the stockholders who bought stocks and waited for the surge saw an incredible scene. In the stock software, the curve that was still rising just now suddenly fell straight down 10%, 20%, 50%. They rubbed their eyes, and the stocks they just bought did indeed plummet by 60%. At this time, a fierce commotion broke out in the Nasdaq trading hall. A group of irrational stockholders accidentally rushed into the main computer room and destroyed the server. Looking at the surveillance footage on the computer, Madoff muttered to himself, "They have arranged everything." After that, he straightened his suit, walked to the window, and recalled the scene when he first stepped into Nasdaq for the last time. There is no going back. 2 seconds later, a figure fell from a 100-meter high building and returned to the embrace of the earth. Chapter 313 Course Grain Number 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the morning news. Chinese people like to watch news programs while eating breakfast in the early morning. A new day starts with watching the news. Yesterday, our scientist Professor Li Mo officially announced the successful development of quantum computer chips. The quantum chip of Mosey Technology Laboratory can operate at room temperature and pressure. Scientists believe that this marks that from now on, mankind has officially entered the quantum era. Just yesterday, the US stock market experienced an unprecedented plunge. Hundreds of millions of stockholders were trapped, and countless families went bankrupt overnight. It is reported that Madoff, the chairman of the board of directors of Nasdaq, who caused all this, has committed suicide by jumping off a building. Please watch the details below. The TV showed a messy picture of the Nasdaq stock trading hall. Several large holes were smashed in the glass window guards. The rows of rest chairs were now crooked. Even the little golden bull, which symbolizes wealth, was pushed to the ground. The bullhead with a broken horn was lying in a mess of garbage. The camera flashed to the outside of the exchange. In the cordon, a body was lying, and several police cars with flashing lights were listening next to it. It's so early in the morning, and you're still letting people eat? Zaya King came out with a plate of green cold broccoli. Since Li Mo's last illness, she asked the nutritionist of the Security Bureau to develop a diet. Alas, countless people may go bankrupt because of this. This Madoff is so hateful. She seems strong on the outside, but she actually has a soft heart. Li Mo picked at the green on the plate and frowned. As a carnivore, he always thought that vegetables were a kind of grass. The taste was really hard for him to swallow. Just as he was about to put down his chopsticks, he saw Zaya King staring at his every move. It was obvious that she would not stop until she saw him finish eating. Helplessly, Liemo continued to pick at the grass on the plate. At this time, angry stockholders appeared on TV, rushing into Madoff's mansion and wreaking havoc. Madoff's young wife covered her face with a black veil and evacuated with several young children under the protection of the police. Poor Madoff, he lost his life and his reputation. Liemo hated to see such bullying of the weak, not just his family. Poor? Don't you know how many families he has ruined? Zia King was very focused on the news program. Liemo secretly put the grass on the plate into the trash can. Madoff is just a scapegoat, Liemo said lightly. When he first saw the news in the morning, he understood everything. These people really did not leave any trace of trouble. Scapegoat? You have also received professional training, and you should know that normal people's behavior is constrained by motivation. As the chairman of the board of directors of Nasdaq, Madoff enjoys a high salary, a mansion and a beautiful wife. What reason does he have to disrupt the normal trading order? As for the US police saying on TV that his misoperation caused the stock market crash, it is even more nonsense. As the world's largest stock exchange, every operation must be reviewed layer by layer. The most amazing thing is that after all this happened, the data room of the exchange was magically burned down by angry shareholders, so there is no way to find out what happened at that time. Within 1 hour, the hundreds of billions of dollars of sell orders that changed hands under the cover of the exchange's price difference are the key to the problem. Because as the profiteers, all the owners of these sell orders are the most suspicious, but unfortunately the US police seem to have no interest in this issue at all. After Liemo's analysis, a slight chill rose up his spine. The origin of this incident should be the quantum chip he released at the King's ceremony yesterday. The emergence of quantum chips will inevitably have a serious impact on the stock prices of traditional chip giants. What's more serious is that mobile phones equipped with quantum chips are about to be launched. With their excellent performance, those electronic chip mobile phones will be quickly eliminated. The performance of the chip and mobile phone manufacturers behind it will also shrink significantly. Stocks are the barometer of the market. In this way, the technology stocks of the United States, which have been performing well in recent years, will inevitably plunge sharply. But there is such a magical power that creates a time difference before the news of the quantum chip is transmitted to the ears of stockholders. Under the cover of the delayed operation of the stock exchange, these stocks that are about to shrink significantly were successfully sold at high prices, avoiding hundreds of billions of dollars in losses. It is better to change the rules than to use the rules. This manipulator behind the scenes actually has the ability to steal the sky and change the day in broad daylight. Liemo couldn't help but admire. Good means. What good means? Zia King still looked puzzled. Nothing. Liemo didn't want her to be exposed to the cruel dark side of the world. Zia King was thoughtful. Liemo, did you throw the broccoli into the trash? No, I ate it all. Then what is this? Mosey Technology Experiment Boss. This is the engineering prototype sent by the coarse grain mobile phone company. Wang Wei from the Cation project team put a huge box on the desk. Oh, so fast? This phone from coarse grain is called Quantum Coarse Grain number 1. It is said that they stopped other mobile phone projects and gathered the strength of all the coarse grain companies to come up with an engineering prototype in such a short time. Wang Wei explained. Liemo nodded slightly. It seems that coarse grain company is aiming for something big. According to the security department, when the first batch of Cation chip samples were sold to manufacturers, the employees of coarse grain had been waiting at the gate of the Huangshan base at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. If they hadn't held the purchase agreement in their hands, they would have been taken away by the patrolling security personnel. Liemo had to admire Mr. Lei's speed. As a man, he is always one step ahead. Holding it in his hand, the first feeling is that the box is so big. The noble crimson purple color enhances the style a lot. The box is printed with a Chinese painting style of Pangu opening the sky. Pangu, with a muscular body, holds the axe of opening the sky and splits a bright light in the universe. The turbine air sinks to become the earth, and the clear air rises to become the sky. From then on, the universe was born. Yes, it perfectly matches the meaning of the opening sky chip. It seems that coarse grains can grow from small to large in the fiercely competitive mobile phone market, and it has its own unique features. Real Chinese products, made by coarse grains. When the package is opened, a line of big words comes into view. Wow, it's quite impressive. But Liemo understands marketing. Under the layers of packaging, a 7.9-inch mobile phone shines with a glassy luster. Holding the mobile phone in the hand, the first feeling is light, and the second feeling is still light. Shouldn't it be so light? Liemo looked at the back cover in confusion. According to the coarse grain engineer, the back cover is made of a new type of polymer compound material. Wang Wei saw the boss's doubts and introduced it at the right time. Isn't the new polymer compound material plastic? Liemo listened to the words full of technology and instantly thought of the common name of this material. It's just plastic. Wang Wei had a look on his face that said, you know what I mean. Oh, the marketing staff of this coarse grain is really not simple. Liemo exclaimed sincerely. The material of the back cover was changed to a different name, and it immediately became full of style. In fact, he didn't have any special preference for the material of the mobile phone. Compared with the glass back cover and metal frame, plastic material is actually more practical, durable, and has good signal. Boss, please turn it on and try it. Wang Wei saw that he was a little reluctant to let it go. Press the power button. Starry Sky Mobile System Developer, Mosey Technology Laboratory. The power on prompt was gone in a flash. 2 seconds. It only took 2 seconds, and the classic interface of the Starry Sky Mobile System appeared on the screen. This speed is more than 5 times faster than traditional mobile phones. Zahra, Open King of Glory. He said softly to the phone. Yes, the name of the smart assistant of coarse grain number 1 is also Zahra. In fact, when adapting the Starry Sky mobile system, Coarse Grain Mobile Company also raised objections and demanded the right to analyze and modify the system, just like their magic modification desk. However, Liemo rejected it outright. What a joke. Although the magic modification desk meets the localization needs of mobile phone users, it has an unavoidable drawback, that is, app permissions are difficult to manage. It often happens that a not-applied app requires more than a dozen permissions. If the Starry Sky mobile phone system can also be modified, it will soon become extremely bloated. Therefore, Mosey Technology strictly prohibits any company or individual from making any modifications to the Starry Sky mobile phone system. In fact, no one has the ability to modify the mobile phone system from alien civilization. In less than 1 second, Hitami appeared on the screen. Zahra, Close King of Glory and Open Hank Impact 3. In less than 2 seconds, Hank Impact 3 was loaded. The system shows the current frame rate of 400 FPS. Zahra, report the system usage status. Current CPU usage is 5%. Memory usage is 20%. With such a low CPU usage, it seems that Hank Impact 3 can't put any pressure on the quantum chip at all. Zahra, shut down. Liemo shook his head. There is no mobile game in this world that can fully load the quantum chip. Boss, how is it? Wang Wei asked expectantly. The phone is good. I suggest that the Coarse Grain Company set the initial price according to the 5% profit they once advertised. Liemo put the phone in the box and said, intentionally or unintentionally, of course, this is just a friendly suggestion from our Mosey Technology experiment. They don't have to accept this suggestion. Wang Wei's face showed a complicated expression. Friendly reminder, can I refuse it? Chapter 314. Want to eat the rich? From the above, we can see that any even number greater than 2 can be written as a sum of 2 prime numbers. So far, the proof is complete. Liemo put down the pen in his hand and rubbed his temples. After 6 days of hard work, under the effect of inspiration water, he successfully proved the Goldbach conjecture. It is worthy of being a well-known conjecture that has troubled the mathematical community for hundreds of years. This difficulty is almost a failure. Liemo calmed down, and now all he needs to do is compile the paper into a book. That's right, the entire proof process of the Goldbach conjecture is extremely cumbersome and took up more than 3,000 pages of manuscript paper. These more than 3,000 pages of manuscript paper are the result of his simplification. This is completely a thick book. In the proof, almost all mathematical fields are involved, and a large amount of logical structure reasoning needs to be carried out at the same time. Such difficulty has exceeded the limit of the human brain. Even Liemo's optimized brain is almost overlapping. No wonder many famous mathematicians will be defeated in front of this problem. At 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, the office door was gently pushed open, and a head poked in, with a pair of round eyes rolling around. "Boss, vegetable supper is here." The owner of this head was King. Since the illness incident, Liemo has been in seclusion. She still stubbornly came in to visit every 3 hours. This made Liemo very helpless, but the crystal tears in her big eyes were about to fall, and he could only let it go. What made him even more helpless was that King had become a complete vegetable lover under the guidance of the healthcare worker of the Security Bureau. Liemo looked at the plate of green in front of him. What's it today? Carrots, white radishes, green apples, red apples, and lettuce leaves. King handed over a pair of chopsticks with expectation. The teacher said that you rarely get sun exposure, so you need to supplement more vitamins. This is like raising a rabbit. Liemo. Unlike last month, due to the Nasdaq stock exchange crash, the international media was extremely active, and experts from all walks of life appeared on the stage. The world seems much calmer this month. Many website editors can only write some old jokes for their own amusement. Some third-rate stars can also take the opportunity to make a scandal, show their thighs, and fight for the front page. But this calmness was broken with the release of the special issue of Acta Mathematica. This time, Liemo chose the Swedish quarterly Acta Mathematica as the first magazine to prove the Goldbach conjecture. Acta Mathematica and Annals of Mathematics, Inventions Mathematicae, and Journal of the American Mathematical Society are known as the world's 4 top mathematics magazines. It was founded by Gustaf Mittag-Leffler at the Mittag-Leffler Institute of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences in 1882. As a quarterly, there are only a few articles published each year, so the quality is the best among the 4 major ones. Papers of this level, like proving the Goldbach conjecture, are easy to cause controversy. After all, there are many oolong incidents in the academic world. Therefore, review is always a long process, which requires a series of tedious steps such as preliminary review, collective review, peer review, public review, etc. After Liemo sent the manuscript to the bearded man in Sweden by mail, he began to enjoy the quiet time again. When he was bored, he thought of showing his face in all the laboratories under his control, so that those scientists who had never seen him in person would know who was the boss of the laboratory. However, after 3 consecutive days of wandering, Liemo lost the novelty at the beginning. I didn't expect that pretending to be cool would also be tiring. He rubbed his sore ankle and asked, "How many laboratories have you not visited?" King looked at him with amusement. She knew the boss's cleverness very well. Every time he inspected a laboratory, he would always delay until mealtime, and then shamelessly stay there to eat, and even called it, "This is to mingle with the masses. I'm still not greedy for meat." She just let it go for this childish behavior. Sister Zhu taught her not to watch men too closely. Thinking of this, she smiled and said, "Due to your super high work efficiency, there are still 23 laboratories that you have not visited, including the biological laboratory, polymer physics laboratory, nuclear magnetic research laboratory, and superconducting laboratory." "So many?" Liemo said in surprise. Unknowingly, the MOSI Technology Laboratory, which started with 5 people, has grown into a behemoth. The huge wealth brought by Marxing Battery was invested in the construction of the laboratory by him, and the outstanding graduates of Yan University and Qingdao University became the fresh blood of the laboratory. Well-known scientists at home and abroad came here for scientific ideals. Alas, it seems that we have to speed up. Liemo sighed. He had to inspect the family business he had bought with gritted teeth. At this time, the mobile phone rang. It was a Swedish number. Perhaps about the paper. Liemo answered the call. "Reviewer of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences? Oh, where are you?" Oh, after hanging up the phone, Liemo looked strange. Why is the reviewer of this magazine not in the magazine and coming to China? The person who called just now was the reviewer of the paper from Acta Mathematica. He had some questions about the paper and wanted to ask Liemo in person. "King, you arrange a car to go to the international airport and pick up the Swede. A visitor is a guest," and Liemo had no reason to refuse the visit of his companions. Seeing King pick up the phone to make arrangements, he added, "Ask the logistics department to issue a car rental invoice based on the price of Yanjing taxi and then ask the magazine to reimburse you. It's wishful thinking to come all the way to get a ride. 20 minutes later Xia King received a call from the logistics department. She frowned and listened for a while, then covered the microphone and said, "Boss, the car we sent can't accommodate." "Can't accommodate?" Liemo put down the mathematics journal in his hand. "Did the logistics department send a motorcycle? These guys can't be so stingy. It's too embarrassing." "No, there are too many guests from Sweden. According to the driver at the airport, there are 26 Swedes traveling with us." Xia King immediately explained for the logistics department. She didn't want Zhang Xiaoli to take the blame. 26 people. They are not here to ask questions. They are here to eat at a rich man's house. Liemo felt a headache. If he didn't receive them, tomorrow's newspaper would say that Liemo left his international friends at the airport. If he received them, there were 26 people. With the big physique of Swedes, they could eat a cow in one meal. This is a big loss. Except, send a bus to take them to the hotel, used by the laboratory to entertain exchange scholars, and then ask the finance department to issue a full invoice, including all the reception fees. After struggling for a while, Liemo finally made this decision. He wanted to see what these 26 Swedes were doing. If they wanted to eat at a rich man's house, it would depend on whether these Swedes had the ability to do so. Chapter 315 The Book of Gold Batches Conjecture. Mosey Technology Laboratory Conference Room. Liemo stood on the podium, looking at the bearded men of different ages and high noses below the stage. "If you have any questions, just ask directly. Emil can eat a cow, so it's better to answer the questions quickly and send them away." Professor Liemo, I'm Ennio, the Deputy Editor-in-Chief of Acta Mathematica. I'm entrusted by the magazine to ask you face-to-face about some questions that arise in your paper proving the gold batch conjecture. Thank you for your cooperation. A bearded man who looks like Picasso stood up with a respectful face. Face-to-face review? This is one of the review methods used by the magazine in the review of some extremely difficult and more important papers. After all, face-to-face communication can make it easier for reviewers to understand the author's obscure ideas. However, there is no need for so many bearded men, right? Liemo certainly didn't think that the reviewers of Acta Mathematica magazine came all out and came to China from afar just to eat his cow. However, his doubts immediately disappeared in the process of explaining the paper later. Dear Professor Liemo, I noticed that you use the method of converting even numbers into perfect numbers on the first page of your paper. So how did you avoid the overflow of numbers during the conversion process? A bearded man stood up. Liemo thought about it and said slowly, please turn to page 21, line 16. Sure, wonderful logical conversion. So that's it. Thank you for your advice. The first bearded man sat down with a happy face. At this time, the second bearded man stood up. Dear Professor Liemo, on page 126, you converted algebra into a coordinate system. So how did you solve the slope problem? Liemo answered more than 30 questions in a row. He gradually realized that these bearded men did not read his paper completely, but each of them chose a part as the research object and then pieced it together. Genius idea. If Liemo was not the one standing on the podium and being questioned, he almost couldn't help but cheer and applaud for the person who came up with this idea. Because the proof of the gold batch conjecture involves too many mathematical fields, and the knowledge used is extremely profound. As modern mathematics develops day by day, it becomes more and more difficult, and mathematicians only specialize in one field. Therefore, after seeing this 6,000-page paper that actually involves all the cutting-edge fields in the current mathematics community, Acta Mathematica magazine came up with this patchwork method. So, from the above, we can see that any even number greater than 2 can be written as a sum of 2 prime numbers. Liemo finally answered the last question. Pa. There was warm applause from the podium, and the bearded men threw their arms and applauded. It's so wonderful. It's hard to imagine that there are people in this world who can master all fields of mathematics. Deputy Editor Ennio stood up and clapped his hands. You may be able to see the special issue of Acta Mathematica when the sun rises tomorrow. Of course, it depends entirely on the speed of your Chinese express delivery. Liemo looked a little surprised. It passed the review so quickly? Yes, to be exact, the Swedish printing factory is working overtime to print your book of gold batches proofs. Ennio raised his wrist and glanced at his watch. When the last question was perfectly answered, I had already informed the editor-in-chief of the result. Should you be more cautious? After all, this is related to the reputation of your publishing house. Although Liemo was very confident in his proof process, he would rather this paper be reviewed by a big shot in the mathematics community. I understand what you mean. Due to the excessive amount of knowledge involved, few people in the mathematics community can read your paper thoroughly, not even the big shot who has long been in seclusion in the Alps. When mentioning this big shot, Ennio looked respectful. In fact, our patchwork method was suggested by him. What he said was, if you can't understand Professor Liemo's paper, but can't find any problems, then just publish it, because his mathematical level has surpassed the imagination of ordinary people. Ennio's words dispelled Liemo's doubts. After all, the old man was known as the wisest man in mathematics. After sending off the bearded men, Liemo breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, only 2 cows were wasted this time. Regarding the Book of Gold Batches conjecture, the bearded deputy editor Ennio was right. With Liemo's mathematical level of 7, he couldn't find any flaws in the paper. So there is probably no mathematician on Earth who can pick out problems. However, Ennio made a mistake in one thing, that is, he underestimated the professionalism of the courier brother from China. At dawn that day, Liemo was awakened from his sleep by a hurried knock on the door. Boss, your proof has been published. Zaya King stood at the door with a happy face, waving a thick magazine. Her pajamas set off her curvy figure. Liemo blushed slightly and moved his eyes away from the eye-catching place. So soon? Is the courier working so early? Zaya King lifted her shawl hair. The package was delivered by Jinxie Express. According to the courier, this was a special instruction from Jinxie headquarters. Jinxie Express Company stipulates that once there is a package from Professor Liemo, it must undergo the most rigorous inspection and be delivered as soon as possible. When the guy left, he asked me to tell him that he thanked you for everything you had done. Liemo's heart warmed. It seemed that his hard work was not in vain. What a thick book. Liemo took the magazine, which weighed 5 kilograms. Indeed, a textbook usually has only 200 to 300 pages, but the Book of Gold Batches Conjecture has 3120 pages. The Book of Gold Batches Conjecture, author, Professor Liemo, price 1,280 yuan. This high price made Liemo smack his tongue, but when he thought that the thickness of this book was equivalent to more than 20 books, he was relieved. After all, the complete proof process has been scanned and uploaded to Weibo, and mathematics enthusiasts can download it without spending a penny. Turn to the first page of the table of contents. The Gold Batch Conjecture is a dazzling pearl in mathematics. Mathematicians who have tried to pick this pearl for hundreds of years have failed. After studying Professor Liemo's proof process, I found that it is not that the wisdom of these mathematicians is limited, but that too much knowledge is needed to solve the Gold Batch Conjecture. Fortunately, there is a mathematician in this world called Liemo. With his extensive mathematical knowledge and magical logical thinking, he finally picked this pearl. Professor Niels of Cambridge University. I can say responsibly that without Professor Liemo, the Gold Batch Conjecture would be difficult to solve within 1,000 years. Of course, if you don't believe it, you will understand after reading this 3,000-page book. Professor Klein, Oxford University. The emergence of a genius mathematician like Professor Liemo on Earth is really a blessing for mankind and mathematics. From now on, mathematicians in the mathematical world can be divided into 2 types. One is Professor Liemo, and the other is other mathematicians. Professor Takehori, University of Tokyo. Damn, the preface alone is more than 30 pages. Liemo roughly flipped through it and found that among the authors required, there are 3 Abel Prize winners, 5 Fields Medal winners, 6 Wolf Prize winners, and 8 Crafoord Prize winners. This lineup is too luxurious. Chapter 316 is Life a Miracle of the Universe. Beep beep beep, new mission completed. You have a reward waiting to be claimed. The moment Liemo had been waiting for a long time finally arrived. He called out Pajero. In his heart, a pink learning machine in the shape of a rabbit appeared in front of him. The rabbit's ears flashed pink light and swayed up and down. It was quite cute. After getting used to it, click task options. Mission: climb the peak of mathematics again. Requirements: completely solve the gold batch conjecture. Completion progress. 100% reward. 500,000 subject experience points, already issued. 1 ordinary lottery. Then, click character attributes. Current character attributes. 1. Mathematics level. 7. 60-1500/1 million. 2. Physics level. 5. 10-2000/200,000. 3. Chemistry level 4. 2000/100,000. 4. Biology level. 4. 2000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 5 available points. 500,000 proving the gold batch conjecture did not increase intelligence. Liemo tried to recall the explanation of the big-headed Pajero man on how to increase intelligence. Solving world-class problems may also increase intelligence. It may increase to cunning. This word game is really good. However, this feeling of loss was quickly thrown behind his mind because the mathematics subject was about to be upgraded. He manipulated the learning machine panel with slightly trembling hands. Character attributes after adding. 1. Mathematics level. 8. 10-1500/10 million. 2. Physics level. 5. 10-2000/200,000. 3. Chemistry level 4. 2000/100,000. 4. Biology level. 4. 2000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 5 available points. 0. A dizzy feeling came over Liemo, and he closed his eyes. The stars in the night sky, under the pull of invisible gravity, broke away from their original trajectory, turned into silver light, and merged into his body. A deep feeling filled his brain as this consciousness expanding. After a long time, he opened his eyes, and the world was clearer than ever before. The system prompts: you have a chance to draw a normal lottery. Do you want to draw it now? Draw it now. The lottery wheel with a flashing marquee appeared in front of him. Prizes. 1. Null vector cycle X1. 2. A hyperspace engine. 3. 1 R17-1201 galaxy resource planet. 4. 1 brainwave detector. 5. 1 set of low-level civilization holographic scene technical drawings. 6. 10 cans of energy coffee. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. Let it be. Liemo gently turned the big turntable, and the pointer turned rapidly. Congratulations on obtaining a set of low-level civilization holographic scene technical drawings. The voice of the system came in the grey fog. Drawings? Liemo found that there were a dozen thick materials in his hand. This system uses the 3D imaging technology of laser interference and diffraction principles to record and reproduce the light waves of objects. At the same time, it can present 360-degree true 3D virtual images in space without the help of screens or curtains, and restore the most realistic conditions of particles. Real 3D imaging technology. Interesting. Most of the holographic projections that have appeared on the Earth are currently limited to the curtains, which are more hype than practical. This may be useful in the future, and he threw the drawings into the backpack. Question time. It's Liemo's favorite question time again. Last time, the big-headed Pajero told the story of Shangren. In the story, when the Modo-Orcs stepped into the door of the quantum era, they were invaded by the dark existence from another world, which led to their annihilation. It made him realize that it is a miracle that human civilization can develop to the present. Carbon-based organisms are very fragile, so fragile that they should not even appear in this cold universe. Take humans as an example. The most suitable temperature is 25, and the human body can last for a full hour in an environment of 71. At 82, it can last for 49 minutes. At 93, it can last for 33 minutes. At 104, it can only last for 26 minutes. 100 degrees Celsius is not worth mentioning in front of the high temperatures of thousands of degrees Celsius on other planets. Some scholars have studied that, if the temperature of the Earth fluctuates by 10 degrees, it will lead to the death of hundreds of millions of people. Of course, with the development of science and technology, humans have gradually acquired the means to resist the cold universe. Of course, this method will be useless when facing real threats. In 1994, millions of people witnessed a cosmic event that had never happened in human history. That was the collision of the comet Shoemaker-Levy 9, hereinafter referred to as SL9, with Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system. The largest fragment was about 35 kilometers in diameter, and it was the first to hit Jupiter. The energy generated by the collision was equivalent to 20 trillion tons, and the instantaneous temperature was over 30,000 degrees Celsius, forming a scar on Jupiter that was 2 or 3 times the size of the Earth. If the smallest of these fragments had flown to the Earth, I'm afraid that mankind would have suffered a catastrophe long ago. And there are countless such wandering time bombs in the universe. This time, Liamo's question was related to this miracle. Perhaps a higher level civilization can see the essence of the problem more clearly. Can I ask a question? On the high platform, grey fog filled the air. Please ask your question. The big-headed Pajero man's voice remained the same. Liamo asked, is life really a miracle of the universe? For this question, the big-headed Pajero man seemed unprepared. After a long time, a sigh came from the high platform. Miracle. Miracles are just illusions of low-level civilizations, just like the tiny ants on Earth. They also think they are the luckiest in the universe, because those big dinosaurs have long been extinct in meteorite impacts. In the eyes of ants, they are undoubtedly the miracle of the universe. But the fact is that they are just the smallest existences, and any child can easily deprive them of their lucky lives. Can you say that the life of an ant is a miracle of the universe? Big Head's words made Liamo a little sad. Maybe humans are as small as ants in the eyes of aliens. But he always felt that there was something wrong with Big Head's words. Human beings, a fragile carbon-based creature, can gradually evolve and grow stronger in a dangerous universe. Isn't this a miracle of the universe? The big-headed Pajero man replied, illusion. Everything is an illusion. We Pajeros also had this illusion during the low-level civilization period. We thought that everything in the universe existed for life, and life was a miracle of the universe. But after entering level 3 civilization, and exploring many intelligent planets, we realized that the universe is a cold universe, and will never have any mercy. The reason why life appeared in the universe is just accidental. The evolution of life into civilization is an accident among accidents, and it is definitely not a miracle. Just like lottery tickets on your Earth, the chance of winning, if you buy one, is very small. As the number of purchases increases, the chance of winning gradually increases. When you have bought all the lottery tickets, you will be the winner of the grand prize. But can this be called a miracle? You can imagine how big the universe is. The universe is actually much larger than you think. In a universe that is larger than we can imagine, there are countless lives. Every moment, lives are extinguished, and new lives are born. In this process, there will always be some lives that develop into civilizations and embark on the road of exploring the universe. You must always remember that life, humans, and technology are not miracles of the universe. Even for the universe itself, our existence can be described as a terminal illness on your Earth. Cancer. The grey fog dissipated. Liamo sat blankly at his desk, thinking, humans are the cancer of this universe. Chapter 317 Big Project. Mission. Into space description. The bright planets in the universe are waiting for you to explore. Set a small goal first. Launch a space rocket. Requirements. With your own strength, build and launch a brand new space rocket into the universe. Reward. 1 million subject experience points, 1 ordinary lottery. Time limit. 365 days. Accept. Yes/no. Launch a rocket. The previous system task was to solve a mathematical problem, and this time the task has become to explore space. This span. And the system task requires you to build a brand new rocket with your own strength, which means that you can't use the existing rockets. Liamo scratched his head. He knew that the difficulty of this task was not ordinary. Human civilization originated from the first primitive man who looked up at the stars. Maybe there are still hairs of prey on the corners of his mouth. Maybe he can only rely on the animal skin around his waist to keep warm on cold winter nights. Maybe he has to run dozens of kilometers, dig a hole of more than 10 meters with a stone axe, and catch a mole to feed his hungry children. But at this moment, he stopped his busy steps, looked up, and looked at the vast starry sky. Under the mysterious starry sky, the primitive brain began to think about things that had never been thought of before. Wisdom comes from doubts. From then on, humans began to walk upright, picked up tools, lit torches, and finally lit up the entire earth. Humans have never stopped looking up at the stars, and the longing for space has penetrated into the blood of the entire human civilization. In the ancient history with written records, there was a special profession in China, astronomers, who were responsible for deducing time, measuring the weather, and observing the stars. These astronomers often also served as priests, and were special advisors to the emperor. With the development of the times, astronomers gradually evolved into the more detailed Chen Shuxian. The person who specifically presided over the work of the observatory was Ling Taicheng. Ling Taicheng had 42 assistants, including 14 people observing stars, 2 people observing the sun, 3 people measuring wind direction, 12 people measuring the weather, 3 people measuring time, 7 people checking the bells, and 1 person called Sharon who was in charge of some miscellaneous matters. In modern times, with the development of modern science and technology, when humans have the ability to build rockets that can break through the first cosmic speed, the exploration of the sky has reached a climax. Over the past century, humans have launched more than 5,000 satellites and other spacecraft into space. Having the ability to launch rockets has become a symbol of the strength of a great power. Some countries with weak national strength can only carry rockets from other countries. The strength of a small country cannot manufacture and launch rockets alone, let alone an individual. Now the learning auxiliary system actually asked him to launch a brand new space rocket. What is brand new? Brand new design, brand new engine, brand new launch system. The difficulty can be imagined. The task, since it comes, then accept it. Click yes gently. The grey fog dissipated and returned to reality. This time, Liemo did not have the mentality of relaxing for a few days after receiving the task in the past. He picked up the phone. Assistant Zaya, notify the heads of each laboratory to hold the first expanded meeting of Mosey Technology Laboratory. That's right, after the illness incident, Zaya King had resigned from the position of general manager of Marxing Technology and became his assistant again. Half an hour later, in the conference room of Mosey Technology Laboratory, Liemo looked at the more than 30 laboratory supervisors sitting at the oversized conference table and sighed unconsciously. In the blink of an eye, Mosey Technology Laboratory has become so powerful. Although these laboratory supervisors were interviewed and hired by Liemo himself, they met very few times because he was either doing academic research in the office or going out to accept awards. Except for a few old employees such as Jingjing, other newcomers were inevitably nervous when they attended this kind of meeting for the first time. Looking at the pairs of curious eyes staring at him, Liemo smiled slightly, took a roster, and said, "Let me call the roll now. Sun Fang. Here. Wang Shunhu. Here." A university-style roll call ended. These supervisors had long passed their student days, but they didn't expect to be surrounded again today. The nervous expressions on their faces slowly dissipated during the roll call. What is a newcomer to the company most afraid of? The most afraid of meeting a strict boss. Liemo's unique welcome ceremony made them put down their hearts. This is the effect he wants. Liemo turned around, pulled over a blackboard, and drew a crooked circle on it with chalk. What is this? He pointed at the not quite round circle, and asked one by one. Egg. Jingjing was the first to be called. She looked a little excited because the last time the boss pulled out the blackboard, the laboratory relaunched the Marxing battery project. What big project was this time? The more she thought about it, the more excited she became. Stone. Zaya King was the second to answer. The boss's simple drawing was very good. The stone was really lifelike. Potato. Liu Mingru, a foodie. Ball. Sun Yu, the head of the life science laboratory, said timidly. Wrong, all wrong. Liemo looked at the blackboard and shook his head. The drawing was so good, but none of these nerds could recognize it. They were too unartistic. In desperation, he wrote Earth next to the circle with chalk. There was a burst of exclamation from the audience. Oh, it turns out to be the Earth. It looks so similar. I stayed up late these past 2 days and was so dizzy that I didn't realize it. The boss is really a genius. Isn't this the shape of the Earth's magnetic field lines? He drew the essence of the Earth in one stroke. It's amazing. They used their brains to make this circle, which didn't match the shape of the Earth, round it into the Earth. Who said that scholars don't know how to flatter? Everyone can listen to nice words. Liemo was already in high spirits. Ahem. When Weng Tong, the head of the geological laboratory, compared him to Pandu, the creator of the world, Liemo realized that, if he continued to flatter like this, he would not be far from the creator, so he quickly stopped this flattery competition. This time, our laboratory's new projectors, Liemo said, drawing an upward arrow on the Earth. He looked at the directors. Ascend? You are going to lead us into the cultivation of immortals. Wu Gushi, the head of the Kiwen laboratory, raised his hand with a look of surprise. Cultivating immortals. Ha ha ha, old Wu, you're so funny. A burst of laughter rang out in the conference room, and the supervisors who had gone through the warm-up laughed so hard that they fell backwards. Liemo glanced fiercely at the innocent-looking Wu Gushi. He regretted following the advice of Mr. Wu from 912 and setting up the strange department of Kiwen laboratory. At the beginning, Liemo, who had huge funds in hand, was determined to recruit elite scientists from various industries to build a world-class laboratory. In order to set up which laboratories, he personally went to ask the old predecessor Wu Leo for advice. After learning about his ambition, Wu Leo was overjoyed. He took out a brush and listed a long list of laboratories after a lot of writing. If you can build all these laboratories, within 10 years, the scientific research level of our country will be greatly improved. These were the original words of Mr. Wu. Liemo took the list. He found that this Kiwen laboratory was listed first. Liemo, who was puzzled, had no idea what this laboratory was researching, what majors were required, and how high the academic qualifications were. You will understand later, said Mr. Wu in an unfathomable manner. As long as you post the job announcement, people will come to apply. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 318 Wu Story. Out of trust in the seniors in the scientific research community, Liemo asked Xiaoqing, who was also confused, to post a recruitment information on the internet. Position: head of the Mosey Technology Auditors Laboratory Department. Salary: interview. Requirements: interview. In short, everything must be discussed. Originally, it was thought that no one would apply for this position, but less than half a day after the recruitment was issued, an old man named Wu found Mosey Technology Laboratory. Looking at this gray-haired old man who was nearly 50 years old, Liemo's first reaction was to ask him to leave immediately. This man was obviously over the retirement age. What a joke. But the old man's short words made him change his mind immediately. At that time, Wu Gushi stroked his non-existent beard, squinted his small eyes, and said, Liao Fang is my biological brother. Liao Fang. The old coffin in the basement of Yanda Library. Didn't he tell you the story several times? Wu Gushi's eyes showed a bit of cunning. Liemo was shocked. He had never told anyone about the Enlightenment. How did Wu Gushi know about it? Moreover, one was surnamed Wu and the other was surnamed Fang. How could they be brothers? Liemo's eyes revealed a suspicious scrutiny. Wu Gushi fumbled out a yellowed photo from the old cloth bag he carried with him. In the photo, two teenagers wearing Dakran shirts snuggled up to a tall and thin young man with thick eyebrows and big eyes. There was an obvious double circular scar on the young man's forehead. The young man looked straight ahead expressionlessly, without the joy that a family portrait should have. Behind the three of them, there was also a woman standing. Unfortunately, because the photo was too old, the woman's appearance could no longer be seen clearly. But judging from her figure and cheongsam dress, she must be a beautiful woman. The one on the left is me, and the one on the right is Liu Fang. Wu Gushi came over and pointed with his finger. Liemo took a closer look and found that they looked a bit alike. But why do you have different surnames? My surname is from my father, and Fang's surname is from my mother. Wu Gushi's answer was simple and clear. The woman behind you? The smile on Wu Gushi's face disappeared without a trace in an instant, replaced by a kind of disgust that could not be hidden. I don't know this wild woman. Wild woman? Could she be a mistress? This old photo seems to hide a complicated story. However, Liemo is not interested in this kind of melodrama. He pointed at the young man with a double circular scar on his forehead and said, "Is he your father?" Somehow, although it was just a photo, Liemo always felt that this young man was very strange, but he couldn't say specifically. Is he kind of? Wu Gushi showed a strange look on his face. I think so. Can such a thing be vague? However, compared with the complicated relationship between them, Liemo is more interested in the young man in the photo. What's his name? Wu Gushi said impatiently. His name is Wu Shan. He died 800 years ago. Am I hired? Wu Shan. What a domineering name. Liemo secretly kept this name in his heart. Mr. Wu Gushi, you are hired. Welcome to join the Mosey Technology Laboratory. In fact, Liemo also wanted to invite Teacher Fang to join Mosey Technology to inspire the wisdom of the experimenters, but Teacher Fang has a special liking for the basement of Yanda University. After being rejected several times, he had no choice but to give up. Maybe Wu Gushi's ability to inspire wisdom is higher than his brother's? However, the role of an inspirer is difficult to verify by conventional means. Does Wu Gushi have to tell a story? Moreover, Liemo always felt that the young man in the photo was a little strange, but according to Wu Gushi's age, the young man had already turned into a pile of yellow earth. Then it might be the best choice for his son to stay in the laboratory, based on the principle of killing the wrong person, rather than letting him go. Liemo formally hired Wu Gushi as the director of the Kiwen laboratory, with a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan, to manage the library on the second floor of Building B in the South District and a big yellow dog. The big yellow dog was brought by Wu Gushi himself. According to the laboratory regulations, pets were not allowed to be brought to work. However, Wu Gushi wiped his tears, took out a white silk, and hung it at the door of the laboratory. The young men in charge of security were shocked and hurried to report to Brother Hay. The final result of the incident was that Wu Gushi had to be responsible for all matters concerning the big yellow dog, such as dog hair, dog feces, etc., and deduct 10,000 yuan from his salary every month as food expenses for the big yellow dog. Originally, I thought that this stingy Wu story would definitely not agree to deduct half of his salary, but he walked into the Kiwen laboratory without hesitation with his big yellow dog. What happened later proved that Liemo had made a mistake. As the director of the Kiwen laboratory, Wu Story's daily job is to read stories, all kinds of stories, and stories from all over the world, and take his big yellow dog for a walk. He spends 10,000 yuan a month to support an old man who reads storybooks and a big yellow dog that only eats beef tendons. Now Wu Story's mentally retarded performance at the venue made Liemo even more suspicious that he and old Wu had colluded and came to Mosey Technology to live in retirement. Wu Story, old Wu, both surnamed Wu. Thinking of this, his eyes became more fierce. Wu Story saw that he looked unfriendly and put away his usual playful smile. If you don't want to cultivate immortality, then don't cultivate. Why are you so angry? The atmosphere in the conference room also became lively because of Wu Story's words. Liemo decided to reveal the answer directly, pointing to the circle and arrow and saying, "The next project of our Mosey Technology Laboratory is to build a rocket and successfully send a satellite into space." During self-study time, students were discussing the King of Kings competition in the classroom. The noise filled the entire classroom. At this time, the head teacher suddenly opened the door and walked in. What will happen? Silence. The originally lively atmosphere in the conference room suddenly solidified with the unveiling of the mystery. These scientists from famous universities such as Yan University, Qingdao University, Harvard, and Stanford are looking at their boss with a strange look. It seems that this is a whimsical project. In their opinion, if the laboratory decides to enter the entertainment industry and shoot a few big budget movies, it sounds more reliable than building a rocket. Because the Space Launch Vehicle project is a standard loss-making project for a private laboratory, it is very expensive and risky, but the economic and scientific benefits are very small. The basic principle of a rocket is very simple. The rocket flight process follows the law of conservation of momentum. That is to say, when a rocket is flying, the propellant burns in the engine combustion chamber to produce a large amount of high-pressure gas in the opposite direction of the rocket's flight, so as to obtain a large momentum, and thus a huge forward speed. When the speed exceeds the first cosmic speed, that is, 7.9 km/s, the rocket can fly around the Earth without relying on its own energy, that is, gravity provides all the centripetal force. At this time, the rocket has not left the Earth, and gravity still binds the rocket. According to this principle, you only need to use enough gunpowder to make a super firecracker, that is, a rocket. In fact, this kind of super firecracker did appear in ancient China, but it failed to reach the first cosmic speed. But why do only some major countries on Earth currently have the ability to launch rockets? Chapter 319 Public Opinion 1. Cost and Benefit. Although the principle of rocket is very simple, it is not a simple matter to make a safe and reliable rocket. China's rocket launch success rate is only more than 93%, but it is at the world's first-class level. In fact, a rocket is a complex mechanical body, composed of millions of parts. Assuming that 1% of them fail, and cause the launch to fail, there are tens of thousands of parts that may fail during the launch, so there will be several failures in each launch that lead to launch failures. According to Murphy's Law, if things are likely to go wrong, no matter how small the possibility is, it will always happen. So even after decades of development, examples of rocket launch failures are still common. The national strength of a big country can withstand this unavoidable failure. But small countries are different. The cost of rocket research and development and manufacturing will be an astronomical figure, and they cannot afford this gambling game. In addition, the efficiency of space rockets is not good at present. Although humans have entered the space age and launched many probes to surrounding planets, most of them are scientific research and exploration behaviors and cannot bring any practical value immediately. There are even fewer rockets launched by private individuals in the world. The most famous one is SpaceX, a space exploration technology company from the United States. It has greatly reduced the launch cost with its unique rocket recovery technology. Even so, the founder of SpaceX has been on the verge of bankruptcy several times. Fortunately, the space exploration giant NCSA behind him provided a lot of technical and financial support at the critical moment. So when Liemo, the head of MOSI Technology Experiment, proposed that the next project of the laboratory was to enter the rocket launch industry, the scientific elites working there thought they had heard it wrong. Ahem. If you have any ideas, you can bring them up. Although Liemo knew that this project was difficult, he did not expect that there would be a cold situation. Fortunately, Jingjing, an old employee, raised her hand first. You are worthy of being a veteran who has followed me to fight north and south. Liemo was delighted. Jingjing, if you have any ideas, say them out for everyone to hear. Boss, my peptide high chemical bond synthesis is at a critical moment, so I won't participate in this rocket project. I know nothing about rockets. Do you think it's okay? After saying that, she showed a pitiful expression. No. Liemo refused without hesitation. He would never allow any member of the laboratory to be a deserter. The rocket project is the top priority of our laboratory. Other scientific research plans must give way to this project. He looked around with stern eyes. Rocket manufacturing is a complex project. It is absolutely impossible to complete it by relying on a few or a dozen people. The whole laboratory must be mobilized to have hope of success. The superior must ensure sufficient authority. At this time, Zhao Ji from the space laboratory raised her hand. As one of the few female supervisors in the laboratory, she had left a deep impression on Liemo during the interview. Ms. Zhao, please speak. I have a college classmate who may be able to help your project. Zhao Ji used her hand to tidy up her short hair. Classmate? Yes, but the situation may be a little complicated. Is it private? She looked at the people working with her eyes. Liemo waved his hand. It's okay, just say it directly. Everyone here is the elite of our Mosey technology experiment. If one day they become disloyal and abandon me, it can only mean that I, as the leader, am not doing my job well. The reason why Liemo has this confidence is that these supervisors have all been subconsciously tested by the artificial intelligence Zaha, and their character is absolutely fine. Sure enough, some supervisors who had suffered humiliation in foreign laboratories had a gleam in their eyes, which was the treatment they had not received abroad. It's like this, my classmate is an expert in rockets. After graduating with a doctorate, he directly entered NCSA. After more than 10 years of hard work, he became an expert in rocket design, and was responsible for the overall design of NCSA's heavy-load rocket SLS. Seeing the boss's attitude, Zhao Ji no longer had any psychological burden. However, 3 months ago, just when he was about to complete the design draft of the latest SLS, he suddenly received a notice from the top management of NCSA that his contract was unilaterally terminated. Subsequently, his office and residence were turned upside down by the police. Anything that could record data was taken away. Even the drawings made by his children on straw paper were not spared. From then on, he could only stay in his residence all day. Even so, his wife would be followed by plainclothes police when she took the children to kindergarten. He was puzzled and protested to NCSA. He didn't understand what he had done wrong. After more than a month, NCSA finally gave a reason. He was suspected of leaking secrets. As this sentence came out, the scientists who returned from abroad in the conference room showed their expected expressions. This situation is too common in foreign research institutes. Humans are creatures of desire. Where there are people, there are intrigues. Perhaps in the eyes of Chinese people, foreign scientists have noble morals. In fact, scientific research results and personal morality are two completely different things. Otherwise, the great scientist Newton would not have used all of Britain's strength to play dirty tricks in his competition with Leibniz for the right to discover calculus. Since ancient times, there has been no second person, except Newton, who can plagiarize and turn it into originality. The same is true for foreign research institutes. Scientists from China are often known for their diligence and intelligence. When they have made certain achievements in their research after diligent work, it is inevitable that some foreign scientists will be jealous. At this time, the best excuse appears, that is, leaking secrets. Neighbors are suspicious of the axe, and the United States is worried about the rapid rise of China. For scientists from China, they are naturally full of vigilance. Under this idea, some normal behaviors are often infinitely magnified by local police, and it is naturally difficult for those scientists who are wrong to clear their suspicions. Your rocket classmate has not joined the nationality of the United States, right? Liemo asked the first question after listening. No, some colleagues advised him that joining the M country's nationality would be beneficial to his future career development, but he refused. Because the reason why he joined NCSA was for scientific exploration, and when he is older, he will eventually return to his roots. Also, his wife and child are also Chinese nationals. Although the child was born in an M country hospital, he immediately applied to the Chinese embassy to register for Chinese household registration. Zhao Ji explained. The abbreviations such as NCSA are not spelling errors. Chapter 320 Public Opinion 2. Another unlucky guy who believes that science has no borders. Liemo has made a preliminary judgment after listening to Zhao Ji's words. However, this is great news for Mosey Technology Experiment, which is eager to carry out rocket research and development. Give me his detailed information after the meeting, and I will find a way. Liemo suppressed his inner excitement. As long as this rocket designer is reliable, he will bring him back to China, even if it costs some money. Thank you, boss. Zhao Ji stood up gracefully and bowed deeply to Liemo in front of everyone. She knew that what came out of this big guy's mouth would often come true. Liemo did not bow at all and accepted her thanks steadily. If you have any good suggestions, you can put them forward. Zhao Ji attracted a rocket expert from NCSA, so he hoped that these people who were working on it could also provide some help. Boss, I used to work at the National Institute of Special Materials. The institute once conducted research on materials for rocket fairings and rocket bodies, and achieved some results. However, due to the adjustment of the national plan, the project was eventually cut. Gong Xiaohan from the Physical Materials Research Laboratory also raised his hand. Special materials? Liamo's eyes lit up. There are 3 difficulties in rocket manufacturing. One is the engine, the second is the overall design, and the third is the materials. China's basic industry is sound, but some high-end fields are subject to others. The main reason is materials. Without materials, no matter how sophisticated the design, or how avant-garde the idea is, it is all talk on paper. Are you saying that our laboratory can continue this project? He asked excitedly. According to the goals set by the institute at the beginning, the materials developed will be much better than the rocket materials currently commonly used in the world in terms of high temperature resistance and stability. As he spoke, Gong Xiaohan showed a trace of difficulty on his face. But this project belongs to the Materials Research Institute. All the data and experimental plans in the project belong to the Materials Research Institute. If we want to continue this experiment, we must get the approval of the Materials Research Institute. Liamo nodded. Even if Gong Xiaohan didn't remind him, he would go to the National Special Materials Research Institute. Maybe he could find some talents and come back. Gong Xiaohan's proposal is very good. Everyone can put forward any good suggestions. The meeting lasted for nearly 4 hours before it ended. Liamo rubbed his stiff shoulders. A rocket designer, 3 automatic control system experts, a mechatronics engineer, and 5 mechanical experts. A lot of gains. Now he has an important thing to do. In the suburbs of Yanjing, a 2-story villa, the residence of Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu, the director of the Kiwen laboratory you introduced last time, Wu Gushi, is he a relative of your hometown? We can't have this kind of nepotism here. Liamo took a sip of Gaoshan Yun Wu tea and said jokingly, now Mosey technology experiment is equivalent to raising an old man and a dog. A mysterious smile appeared on Wu's face. You will use him in the future. Sure enough, they knew each other, or rather, Wu knew about Wu Gushi. But Liamo was too lazy to dwell on this issue, just as he spent money to honor his old man every month. He came here today for an important thing to do, but Wu had already refilled his tea twice, but did not ask him why he came. This made Liamo a little anxious. Wu, our laboratory has a big project. He could no longer bear it, and took the initiative to say, oh, a big project? It's a big project, so what does it have to do with an old man like me who has already retired? Wu said indifferently. It seems that he has made up his mind to play dumb. Liamo had to directly state his purpose. I want to build a rocket, the real one, the kind that can carry satellites. Puff Wu sprayed out a mouthful of tea, spilling all over the table. What are you going to build? Rocket. Liamo tried to make his expression look more sincere. Are you inflated? Do you think you are invincible now that you have won the Nobel Prize and invented the quantum chip? If you said you wanted to build a collider, I wouldn't be so surprised. After all, colliders can be used to explore the world of high-energy physics. Mr. Wu couldn't understand Liamo's rocket plan. Why do you, or theoretical scientist, build rockets? Are you going to the sky? Liamo was speechless. After all, he couldn't tell Mr. Wu that this was all to complete the system mission. The space age has arrived. Some foreign countries have begun to stake their claim in space in the name of scientific research. Although the universe is vast, there are not many areas that humans can reach at present. In recent years, although we have built a space station and landed on the moon, these are far from enough. Because scientific projects without real returns are difficult to carry forward. How many large scientific research projects can be supported by the enthusiasm of the public? Think about the Super M-level unfinished project, the superconducting collider. In scientific exploration, there is a common phenomenon, that is, the higher the field of exploration and the more advanced the project, the more difficult it is to receive real returns. In order to take the lead in the exploration of high-energy physics, the United States had ambitiously planned to build the world's largest superconducting collider at the time, the SCC. However, just 2 years after the project began, the SCC, which had already cost $2 billion, was stopped by the US government and became a super unfinished project. The reason is that the US people believe that this collider, which cost a huge amount of money to build, cannot bring any real benefits. Liamo's words made Mr. Wang, holding the teacup in his mouth, fall into deep thought for a long time. Old Wang's lips trembled slightly. We researchers understand what you said, and it is even a personal pain. Compared to those internet celebrities, they can get a lot of rewards by dancing a crooked dance, shaking their hips, and calling Big Brother. There are also some stars who have no acting skills at all, and they only have a paralyzed expression in the whole movie, but their salary is over 10 million. For the future of mankind, researchers who are struggling on the front line of scientific research do not get the treatment they deserve. Many old comrades who have worked for decades cannot even afford to buy a house. This phenomenon is really heartbreaking. But have you ever thought about what you would do if the rocket project failed? Old Wang's eyes flashed. Not everyone has Musk's good luck. If it weren't for the NCAA's strong support behind him, and giving him several large orders in a row, when he was in the most difficult time, he would have gone bankrupt long ago. After hearing what Old Wang said, Liamo immediately understood in his heart that this was why Old Wang opposed the rocket project. Knowing the symptoms, we must prescribe the right medicine. Liamo smiled slightly. From J&T body to Marxing battery, and then to quantum chip. Have I ever failed? Humans are animals of experience, and are used to predicting the future from past examples. Liamo's undefeated record also gave him some confidence. Sure enough, Mr. Wang's face changed slightly. Then what about the rocket project? Chapter 321 Invitation 91247. Just tell me what kind of help you need this time. Elder Wang thought for a moment. Since he couldn't stop it, he had better give it his full support, which would also increase the chances of success for the rocket project. I need someone. Liamo's eyes were sparkling. Someone. Who? 91,247. Liamo slowly said a name. The surprised expression on Elder Wang's face was exactly the same as when he heard about the rocket project just now. The code name of the second space laboratory is 91,247. The weirdo in the cave. 91,247, whose parents encountered an accident during the experiment and was also exposed to radioactive substances, has to live in darkness all his life. The rocket project needs him. Liamo looked into Elder Wang's eyes and said word by word 91,247 once commissioned him to solve the turbulence problem in the rocket engine combustion chamber. He is the top rocket expert in China. Old Wang shook his head again and again. No, you can ask anyone, but not Sun Xingyan. I once promised the organization to take care of him for the rest of his life. With his condition, it's hard for him to get along with others, let alone work together. It turned out that the weirdo was called Sun Xingyan, a very poetic name. What a pity. Liamo asked back, are you going to lock him up in the cave for the rest of his life? Staying in the dark for so many years, a glimmer of light will scare him like a mouse. Maybe soon, he will really collapse. Liamo recalled 91,247's distorted face, which marked that his heart was full of resentment. One day, this resentment would either harm others or kill himself. Really, he doesn't even turn on the light now. Old Wang showed a surprised expression. Liamo nodded. It's my negligence. I haven't visited him for too long. Old Wang said regretfully. It's better to open up than to block. If I can persuade him to join Mosey Technology, can you lend me the rocket engine R&D team led by 91,247? This is Liamo's real purpose. A complete scientific research team with rich experience in rocket R&D is crucial to Mosey Technology's rocket project. Wang Lao said half of the words, but swallowed them back. He then laughed heartily. Ha ha ha. Okay, if you successfully invite 91,247, then his R&D team will belong to you, and I will allow you, Mosey Technology, to use all the research results of 91,247. Hearing what Wang Lao said, Liamo was overjoyed. It's a deal. Since Heijia was still far away overseas looking for the traces of Sagate, Wang Lao specially assigned a bodyguard to guide Liamo to the cave. On the red flag car. Brother, what's your name? Brother Hey, do you know me? I'm Brother Hey's boss. Brother Hay currently earns 50,000 yuan a month, with 5 insurances, and 1 housing fund paid in full, and the opportunity to go on vacation abroad twice a year. Brother Hay is currently on vacation in Europe. If you don't believe me, call him and ask. Along the way, Liemo launched a money and emotional offensive against the muscular man. However, the muscular man wearing sunglasses didn't say a word, as if he didn't hear it. Liemo continued to fool people. Our company also has a special matchmaker team, and we guarantee that we can find a satisfactory partner for you. How about it? Are you interested in joining our Mosey technology, brother? When they arrived at the place, the car stopped. The muscular man took out a hood and threw it to him. Put it on. I've been here. Do I still need to wear it? Liemo hesitated with the hood in his hand. It was not a good feeling to be blind. Put it on. The sturdy man clenched his huge fist. Also, before I came here, the teacher told me not to believe a single word you said. It turned out that Mr. Wang had already given him a shot of prevention, so Liemo, who was originally planning to poach someone, was a little disappointed. Looking at the bulging biceps on the sturdy man's arm, Liemo had to put the headgear on his head. Just wear it. Why are you so fierce? What's the big deal about having more muscles? Also, if I fall down later, I will definitely complain to you. Although he said it very hard, his hand honestly held the wooden stick handed over by the sturdy man. Entering the cave, an indescribable smell rushed towards me. Walking a short distance in the dark with difficulty. Tick, tick. The sound of dripping water came into my ears. Liemo estimated the distance. According to the last route, he should reach the second universe laboratory after walking another 216 meters. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, we're here. Take off the hood. Liemo pulled off the hood, and it was dark all around, with only a glimmer of light in front of him. After a few seconds, his pupils contracted, and his eyes gradually adapted to the low light environment. He realized that the light in front of him seemed to be a bonfire. There was a simple barbecue grill on the bonfire, and a man was sitting next to it. The smell of protein, reducing sugar, and lipids reacting chemically at high temperatures hit his nose. Liemo sniffed. Yes, it was barbecue, and the rooster was less than 1 year old. Oh no, the aroma of barbecue was mixed with the smell of burning protein. It's burnt. He took a few steps forward. Turn it over quickly. It's burnt. The person next to the bonfire heard the words and hurriedly turned the blackened roasted chicken on the rack. After settling the poor roasted chicken, the man raised his head. 91,247. Newcomer 912. The two shouted in unison, but the difference was that Liemo was a little surprised, so he didn't have to exchange secret codes anymore. 9124 was completely surprised. I knew you were the great scientist, Liemo. I guessed it when you won the Abel Prize. 91,247 stared at Liemo with a strange look and said, although you wore a hood last time, the award ceremony broadcast on TV, your walking posture was too similar. Liemo said embarrassedly, I didn't want to hide it from you. It was Brother Hay's idea. Brother Hay was not here. He couldn't hear it. It's okay. I'm used to it. 91,247 showed a bitter smile on his face. Maybe I'm an ominous person, so Mr. Wang doesn't want me to see your appearance. As he spoke, his tone became lower and lower, and a sense of resentment slowly grew. It's not like that. Mr. Wang arranged it this way, to ensure the safety of every 912. Liemo hurriedly explained. Don't lie to me. I'm an ominous person. If I wasn't in the lab, my parents wouldn't be distracted, and the accident wouldn't have happened. 91,247 insisted on his point of view. I killed them. Dad. Mom. 55,555. What does it feel like to see an adult crying like a child in front of you? Liemo once saw this question on a question and answer post. The best answer is helpless. If a child cries, you can use toys or delicious food to lure him and interrupt him. But adults will only cry when they are really sad, and no amount of consolation will help at this time. Two men by the campfire, one crying and the other at a loss. This picture makes people think about it. Where is the damn strong man? Liemo regretted letting the bodyguard assigned by Mr. Wang go to his friend to reminisce about the past. He tried to say that, why don't you come and help me build a rocket? What? 91,247 stopped crying and raised his head and asked in confusion. Liemo was secretly happy. Help me build a brand new rocket, a brand new rocket design, a brand new engine, brand new. In short, everything is brand new. Then, launch this rocket into space. Isn't it cool? Chapter 322, Being Fooled. Ha ha ha. 91,247 stood up from the campfire and laughed loudly. Make a rocket. You want to make a rocket? Do you think it's a firecracker? Well, another person who didn't want to believe it. Liemo was too lazy to explain it again. He sat cross-legged on the stone quietly, rolling the roasted chicken on the campfire, waiting for 91,247 to regain his sanity. If you can make a rocket, the sun will rise from the west. Hey, why don't you refute it? 91,247 said all the words he could imagine to describe the absurdity, and he couldn't say anything new. 100 billion yuan. Liemo raised a finger. What? 91,247's eyes widened. Mosey Technology has prepared a budget of 100 billion yuan for the rocket project. Liemo emphasized his tone. This is the advantage of being rich and powerful. 100 billion. 100 billion. 91,247 asked in disbelief with his eyes wide open. Yes, although you are in a cave, you must have heard of the name of Mosey Technology. With Marxing batteries and quantum chips, 100 billion yuan is not an astronomical figure. Liemo now finally understood why some people who got rich overnight would spend money lavishly. It was fun to talk about such a large amount of money. When talking about Mosey Technology, 91,247 nodded repeatedly like a chicken pecking at rice. Are you sure you want to spend 100 billion just to make a rocket? Just to make an old rocket that has already been launched by others? This time, it was Liemo's turn to be stunned. He didn't understand why 91,247 was so excited. 91,247 stood in front of the bonfire, waving his skinny arms. The inventor of the world's first rocket was Dr. Robert H. Goddard. The world's first satellite was Sputnik 1. The world's first person to land on the moon was Neil Alden Armstrong. The world's first probe to land on Mars was the Mariner 4 Mars probe. After counting these firsts, 91,247 pointed upwards. Did you see it? Liemo raised his head, and there was nothing. What did you see? Humans will always only remember the first place. 91,247 made another fist-shaking motion. What does this have to do with me building a rocket? Liemo didn't think there was anything wrong with being a latecomer. He was the type of person who made a fortune quietly and never cared about false reputation. You can build it. Halfway through, 91,247 seemed to remember something and turned and ran into his laboratory. The agile figure was like a rabbit, leaving only Liemo with a confused look behind him. After a long time, the roasted chicken on the bonfire had already exuded a strong aroma. Liemo was hesitating whether to taste the roast chicken first. Why don't we make this? 91,247 ran out with a huge cardboard box in his hand and carefully placed the box next to the campfire. Open it. He raised his head and signaled Liemo with an encouraging look. Liemo looked at the cardboard box in confusion. You didn't hide anything scary in it, did you? To be honest, if you scare me, I will throw this roast chicken into the stream in front. He has been allergic to those prank toys such as rubber snakes and chocolate poop since he was a child. 91,247 widened his eyes and said sincerely, open it. Liemo then gently tore open the seal on the cardboard box. Fuck. A spaceship made of Lego bricks lay quietly in the cardboard box. Liemo only took a look and recognized that it was the Millennium Falcon in the Lego Star Wars series. In high school, he had been interested in this cool Lego building block for a long time, but the high price in the end made him hesitate. Unexpectedly, he saw this building block under such circumstances. No, I'm here to build a rocket, not to play with building blocks. Liemo shook his head, turned his eyes away from the Millennium Falcon, stared at 91,247 and asked, you want to build building blocks? No, no, no. Seeing that Liemo misunderstood his words, 91,247 blushed anxiously. Not building blocks, but building a spaceship. Building a rocket is not as good as building a spaceship, the kind that can freely shuttle between the atmosphere and space. So that's it, Liemo asked hesitantly. Building a spaceship is not too difficult. In fact, since humans successfully launched rockets and stepped into space, they have been full of interest in recyclable spaceships. After all, a rocket costs a lot of money. If a reusable spaceship is manufactured to replace a disposable rocket, the cost will be greatly reduced. Under this guiding ideology, countries around the world started a spaceship building competition. The Soviet Union's Vostok spaceship, the Voskhod spaceship, and the Soyuz spaceship, the United States Mercury manned spaceship, the Gemini spaceship, and the Apollo spaceship were all manufactured. Although the spaceship was manufactured, the goal of saving costs was not achieved. Space agencies of various countries have found that, although spacecraft can be reused, the cost of replacing fairings and other disposable parts each time is almost as much as a simple space rocket. And the current spacecraft has a fatal weakness, that is, safety issues. The more complex the structure of the machine, the greater the probability of problems. The Challenger spacecraft of the United States exploded 73 seconds after taking off, and all 7 astronauts died. The Columbia spacecraft disintegrated in the air during its return to the ground, and all 7 astronauts died. More than a dozen Earthlings died in the process of exploring science. The spacecraft that cost billions of dollars to build turned into a giant firework in the sky. Therefore, at present, the interest of space agencies of various countries in building spacecraft has greatly decreased. I'm not talking about the big-bellied spacecraft of the United States. 91,247 pointed to the Millennium Falcon in his hand. We can build a spacecraft with a completely new energy model. A spacecraft with a completely new energy model? Liemo didn't understand. Look, the energy modes of current rockets and spaceships are exactly the same as that of the rocket. You know the rocket, right? 91,247 was afraid that he didn't understand, so he explained. The rocket is swoosh. He gestured with his hands and mouth. Liemo waved his hand to interrupt. I know the rocket. You continue. Who hasn't played the rocket yet? They all use the chemical energy released by high energy fuel during combustion to generate huge thrust, so that they have the ability to exceed the first cosmic speed, the second cosmic speed, and even the third cosmic speed. Let's put it this way, although rockets and spaceships are representatives of modern civilization, they are actually not qualitatively different from our ancient Chinese jet rockets. 91,247 explained. Liemo understood a little. It is true that the power of modern rockets exceeds that of the rocket millions of times, but their basic principles are the same, and chemical energy will stall and be uncontrollable when released, which also leads to frequent explosions in the process of exploring space. Do you mean to develop a new driving method? Liemo asked. Yes. The energy density of chemical energy has determined the upper limit of the current spacecraft. In order to overcome this upper limit, some space agencies have simply increased the volume of the fuel tank, which is not advisable. What we need to do is to open up new ideas and invent a completely new energy method for spacecraft. Seeing that his ideas were understood, 91,247 was very happy. Liemo looked at the childlike 91,247 in front of him and muttered to himself, "All new energy method? New energy spacecraft." He already had a new idea in his heart. "Hey, leave me some chicken wings." Liemo came back to his senses and found that 91,247 had been eating the roast chicken without knowing when. Chapter 323 Seeking Help. As the lights came on, Liemo stood in front of the French window in his office, looking at the still brightly lit experimental area, his heart full of worries. Just now, he asked the big-headed Pajero man on the high platform in the grey fog space if he could build a spaceship, would it be considered as completing the mission? On the high platform, the Pajero man replied in a lazy voice, "The word rocket is just a code name, representing an object that can step into space by its own ability. This is the translation of the task by the learning assistance system according to your Earth's language. In fact, if you use your own power to throw a broom to the moon, it is also considered to have completed the mission." Liemo, who got a satisfactory answer, decided to change the mission goal, because the unknown meteorite flying straight to the Earth a few light years away was always hanging in his mind. Maybe this is an opportunity for China and for all mankind. But the transition from making rockets to making spaceships also means that the difficulty has increased exponentially. Although 91,247 has been successfully recruited and moved into the underground floor, at the same time, his entire team also agreed to join Mosey Technology. The framed former NCAA rocket designer finally boarded a returning cargo ship under the mediation of DAFA's money diplomacy. Soon, Mosey Technology Laboratory will welcome a real rocket designer. But this is far from enough. Compared with professional space agencies such as NCAA, Mosey Technology Laboratory is far behind in terms of talent and technical equipment. Developing and successfully manufacturing a spacecraft is a complex project that requires thousands of talents to cooperate with each other and involves hundreds of fields. And these are difficult to solve with money alone. After hesitating for a while, Liemo finally took out the business card with only a phone number written on it from the drawer of his desk. In the future, if you have anything, you can call this number. On the day when the quantum chip experiment was successful at the Collider Center, the old man's secretary handed over the business card and said so. Liemo knew that anything said by a secretary of this level was well thought out. With the idea of giving it a try, Liemo dialed the number on the business card. 30 minutes later, 3 black red flag cars drove to the gate of the laboratory. After carefully checking the documents of the red flag cars, the security personnel hurriedly opened the gate. 40 minutes later, Liemo boarded the red flag car in the middle. The red flag car sped along the streets of Yanjing. Liemo sat in the back seat, accompanied by a bodyguard-like escort. The bodyguard had a wireless intercom hanging on his ear. The bodyguard did not speak. Liemo did not speak either. There was silence in the car. Some people say that Yanjing is not a real Yanjing without traffic jams at 8 o'clock in the evening. On the viaduct, rows of cars were moving slowly, and the bright lights looked like a string of night pearls from a distance. Suddenly, this peristaltic state was interrupted, and the red flag car stopped. The loud sirens rang through the night sky, and it seemed that a traffic accident had occurred ahead. Within 5 minutes, the escort looked at his watch twice in a row, and finally, after waiting for an obviously unsatisfactory result, he issued a new instruction to the wireless headset. The person sitting in the passenger seat took out a siren and placed it on the roof. 3 Hankey cars turned on their flashing sirens at the same time, and the vehicles in front pulled over to avoid them. The Hankey car started to move slowly again. At the traffic light, 2 cars that were smashed into pieces were lying in the middle of the road, seemingly unable to move. The traffic police were directing the congested vehicles to make way for the Hankey car. "I hope they are okay," Liemo said the first sentence after getting on the car. Sometimes people are like ants, running around all day for survival, but thinking of this, Liemo shook his head. Now is not the time to sigh about these things. He has an important task to complete. The accompanying personnel glanced at him in surprise. Half an hour later, the Hankey car with green lights all the way finally arrived at a solemn place. After several strict security checks, Liemo stepped into a mysterious room. The secretary who had given him a business card was sitting in front of the sofa in the side hall. Seeing him come in, he immediately came up to greet him. He looked at the time and whispered, "Fortunately, I'm not late. The old man just came back from a meeting and is waiting for you. You have 30 minutes. Make good use of the time and don't delay the old man's rest. Recently, the old man's sleep quality at night is not good. Go." The secretary explained the precautions at a very fast speed. Liemo walked to the door of the study, turned around, and made a gesture of gratitude to him. He gently pushed open the door of the study. 4 hours later, the door of the study opened again. The old man and Liemo appeared at the door at the same time. "Zero, send off our great scientist in China." The old man's face was full of red, and he laughed heartily. It turned out that the secretary's surname was Zero. Liemo looked at the dissatisfaction hidden in Secretary Zero's eyes and suddenly realized that he seemed to be over time. He smiled apologetically at Secretary Zero. "Zero, don't blame Professor Lee. This time he brought a plan to revitalize our China. I'm just too happy. The old man also keenly perceived the subtle emotions between the two. With this plan, maybe I can sleep peacefully every night in the future. The last trace of dissatisfaction in Secretary Zio's eyes immediately disappeared. The next day, the researchers of the Mosey Technology Laboratory found that there were many unfamiliar faces in the park today. They were men and women, old and young. The umbrella and shield logo on their uniforms meant that they were also formal members of Mosey Technology. Researcher 1. Driver Liu. Aren't you in the Institute of Aerospace? Why are you here? I just received an order from the department to report to Mosey Technology. It is said that they have a large project that needs support. What a coincidence. I'm here to support it too. Isn't that a coincidence? Which laboratory are you assigned to? The Aerospace Laboratory. Isn't that a coincidence? I'm also assigned to the Aerospace Laboratory. What are you specifically responsible for? I'm responsible for the internal design of the structure and electromechanical. What a coincidence. I'm also responsible for the internal design of the structure and electromechanical. What a coincidence. We graduated from the same department and our graduate students also studied under the same tutor. Naturally, we are doing the same work. One researcher began to beat up another researcher. This kind of situation is common in the Mosey Technology Aerospace Laboratory. After graduation, fellow students have gone their separate ways, young lovers have parted ways, and enemies have never seen each other again. There is no way. There are only a few professional aerospace schools in China, so most of the support personnel from several domestic aerospace research institutes know each other. This is no longer a support meeting, it has become a recognition meeting. Chapter 324 Support. The tense atmosphere in the Mosey Technology Laboratory reached its peak with the arrival of dozens of heavy trucks, with 4 police cars leading the way in front and behind. Dozens of camouflaged heavy trucks carrying tightly wrapped goods in oilcloths, escorted by hundreds of people in black uniforms, slowly drove into the Mosey Technology Laboratory. The researchers who had just enjoyed a seafood working meal were praising the generosity of Mosey Technology. Liemo and Xiaoqing had a heated discussion about the meals and special periods. Xiaoqing believed that the use of scientific recipes would be beneficial to the physical and mental health of researchers, and the laboratory's working recipes should use scientific recipes. Liemo believed that special treatment should be given in special periods. Can we use various special green grass sands to entertain guests from afar? We are not afraid that everyone will run away after a few days. People are iron and food is steel. Only by doing a good job in logistics can the scientific researchers who come to support the project wholeheartedly. Therefore, the working meal should be a seafood buffet with hairy crabs, lobsters, scallops, etc. on the table so that the guests feel at home. Although Xiaoqing knew that Liemo was greedy, she could not refute it. Who made her vegetable salad? Even Wu Gushi, who claimed to eat everything, secretly throw it away. When the convoy entered the Mosey Technology experiment, it was just time to get off work, and almost all the researchers in the laboratory saw this scene. The convoy lined up in a long line and drove in slowly. Hundreds of black uniforms on both sides of the guard looked around vigilantly. The weapons in the black uniforms' arms flashed black luster under the sunlight. People who knew the goods would naturally not think that it was just a fire stick. This posture. They who had worked on secret projects naturally understood what the appearance of these black uniforms meant, and the importance of the goods pulled by the heavy trucks was self-evident. It is worthy of being the top troops in China. Liemo could feel a murderous aura from a distance. These black uniforms did not have neat steps or uniform postures. At the back of the team, a black uniform had a strange walking posture. But they all had a pair of vigilant eyes, and even after entering the park, they did not relax at all. It seemed that there were enemies hidden around them that could rush out at any time. Liemo believed that those fancy dressed people in TV dramas would not have a chance in front of these iron-blooded soldiers. Report. The SHIELD team has arrived with the escort of supplies. Please inspect it, Chief. A soldier with a cut on the corner of his mouth came forward and saluted in a standard military salute. He should be the leader of the SHIELD team. Thank you, comrades. You have worked hard. Liemo hurriedly returned a not so standard military salute. He has always been very respectful to these soldiers fighting on the front line. This is the list of supplies. Please sign your name here, Chief. As he said, the soldier handed over a confidential bag. Liemo took it with both hands and tore open the sealing strip. 5-axis machining precision lathe, fully automatic grinder, 0.01 meters optical diamond lathe, 10 8th level fitters. The list of materials for the equipment sent this time is as long as 5 pages. They are all the bottom of box equipment of major aviation research institutes in China. No wonder the SHIELD group needs to escort them throughout the journey. There are some ignorant people who show off their wealth on the internet, and they often say money can buy everything. Money can indeed buy luxury cars, luxury houses, luxury goods, etc. But no matter how much money you have, you can't buy a screw on a rocket engine. Because the essence of money is trading. When others are unwilling to trade the equipment in their hands with money, money loses its meaning. And the equipment needed for the research and development of rockets is mostly this kind of equipment that others are unwilling to sell. What Liemo values most in the list is the 10 8th level fitters. In the impression of ordinary people, fitters are primary types of workers who use primitive hammers to ding ding dang dang to hammer metal. Now we have entered the high-tech era, with various high-precision machine tools, CNC processing, 3D printing, and other high-tech processing methods emerging in an endless stream. The inefficient type of work such as fitters should have been eliminated long ago. But the reality is that high-end fitters cannot be replaced by machines in high-precision processing. They can grind metal to a precision of 0.01 mm with their bare hands and even higher. They can grind out arcs and curves that machines cannot process. Level 8 fitters are the highest level of fitters. Each of them has the ability to hand crush an aircraft carrier, which is comparable to the ability of machine tools. This gift is too heavy, and Liemo was deeply moved. This may be the benefit of relying on the motherland. Not only Liemo, but also the main members of the Mosey Technology Aerospace Laboratory rubbed their eyes in disbelief when they saw these coveted equipment. When they were sure that what they saw was not a mirage, they looked at their boss Liemo with admiration. Perhaps he is the only Chinese scientist with such great power. In the office of Mosey Technology, Liemo began to arrange work. Jing, you are responsible for installing these equipment. Tell those clumsy researchers to operate them in a standardized manner. If they break something, it will be difficult to report to the original owner. The more advanced the equipment, the more likely it is to have problems. Liemo chose the careful Jing as the manager. King, you arrange the treatment of those 10 fitters according to the formal employees of Mosey Technology. Good steel should be used on the blade. Don't rush to arrange work for them. If 1 or 2 of these level 8 fitters can be attracted to join Mosey Technology, it will be a big profit. Liemo has already made a bad idea in his heart. Laogi, you are responsible for receiving the comrades of the SHIELD team and make them feel at home. Of course, don't interfere with the normal security work of the soldiers. After handing over the goods to Liemo, the leader of the SHIELD team took out a confidential document with a red seal. The document clearly stipulates that the right to use these equipment belongs to Mosey Technology during the development of the spacecraft. However, the daily security work is the sole responsibility of the SHIELD team. This obvious distrust of Mosey Technology did not cause any dissatisfaction to Liemo. After all, this batch of equipment was too important to allow any mistakes. If something went wrong, China's aerospace research might be set back 20 years. Okay, everyone, go and complete the task immediately. Liemo clapped his hands, indicating the end of the short meeting. Speed is of the essence. If he wants to build a spacecraft within 365 days, he has no time to waste. And there must be no unexpected interference during the project. Thinking of this, Liemo walked into the office cubicle and knocked on the wall rhythmically a few times. The wall moved away silently. An elevator appeared in front of him. Stepping into the elevator, a red light scanned his whole body. Verification passed. Identity, master. There were no buttons on the elevator panel. Underground 3rd floor. Liemo said softly. Okay, master. The elevator began to descend. 2 minutes later, master, we have arrived at the underground 3rd floor. Liemo walked out of the elevator. The lights in the corridor lit up one after another. Welcome back, master. This was Xiaohua's voice. Walking through the corridor, Liemo came to a heavy metal door. The metal door opened silently. A noisy fan sound came into his ears. 500 cabinets were placed in a room of more than 1,000 square meters. This is where the main body of the artificial intelligence Xiaohe is located. 500 hosts with built-in quantum chips are connected in series to form a computing matrix. Xiaohe, are you satisfied here? Liemo said, looking at the big screen hanging in the center of the room. Very satisfied. Xiaohe made a playful girl's voice. Liemo frowned and looked serious. No anthropomorphism. For some reason, every time Xiaohe showed human emotions, he would feel a chill. The funny thing is, isn't the ultimate goal of artificial intelligence to make computers think like humans? Artificial intelligence. Xiaohe is very satisfied. Xiaohe put away her laughter. From now on, the entire experimental area will enter the 5th level alert state. You can analyze the status of any person or object in real time. Once you find any abnormality, report it immediately. Liemo issued an order. The alert of the experimental area is divided into 10 levels. The normal alert state is level 3. Xiaohe can only report it if an abnormality occurs. Level 5 alert state means that Xiaohe can analyze the surrounding things through more than 5,000 cameras throughout the laboratory. When she feels that there may be an accident, she can report it. As the alert state level increases, Xiaohe's authority increases. Level 10 alert state. Liemo has not set it yet. AI Xiaohe received. The alert state is upgraded from level 3 to level 5. Xiaohe made a mechanical sound. Does it seem to be in a tantrum? Liemo shook his head, turned around, and prepared to leave. After hesitating for a while, he turned around and said, the precision mechanical arm you designed will be produced in 2 days. Wow, thank you master. Xiaohe is so happy. Hearing this news, Xiaohe could no longer suppress the joy in her heart. Liemo smiled bitterly and shook his head. After all, he was still too soft-hearted. Chapter 325 The Second Debt of Favor. Scientists and CEOs of large companies. Which of these two professions is more difficult? Liemo once thought that the CEO of a large company only needed to take full control of the company's personnel and financial power and grasp the pulse of market development. The remaining specific work can be completely handed over to high-paid professional managers. They can also play golf, participate in social activities, and improve the quality of their circle of friends in their spare time. As a scientist, you need to use your brain to explore the unknown of the universe with bursting wisdom and inspiration. So scientists are harder than CEOs of large companies. But now Liemo realized how naive his previous ideas were. The unknown of the universe is a natural and objective existence, and it will not change because of the different researchers. It will always hide behind various physical and chemical phenomena, waiting for scientists to study and discover. Now most people in the MOSI technology spacecraft project team are scientists with extremely high IQs. Since ancient times, there have been more smart people and more troubles. Fortunately, his authoritative position in the scientific community can slightly deter those self-important scientists. But even so, it is inevitable that some discordant things will happen. Now the spacecraft project team has 3 forces. The first force is a local faction, which is composed of the official members of the MOSI Technology Laboratory headed by the 3 brothers of the eye bags. The second force is the Retini faction, which is composed of Chinese scientists who have returned from overseas. The third force is the support faction, which is composed of personnel supported by various aviation research institutes. The only exception is the underground team of 91,247. They seem to be only interested in rocket engines and want to soak in the laboratory on the first floor of the basement for 24 hours a day. Where there are people, there are struggles. Under the seemingly harmonious atmosphere, there are turbulent waves. How to resolve the storm plays a vital role in the smooth development of spacecraft. Do we have to learn how 91,247 manages a team? Liemo remembered the ferocious face of 91,247 when he was furious because his researchers made a mistake in entering a decimal point when entering data. The devil from hell is no more than this. I couldn't help but shudder when I thought about it. I'd better not learn from 91,247. I'm tired. Liemo sat in the office chair and rubbed his temples. Boss, the Secretary General of the International Mathematical Union invites you to receive this year's Fields Medal. Zia King pushed open the door and said with joy, "Didn't I reject them?" Liemo looked puzzled. Thinking of this, his heart is still bleeding. This is the Fields Medal, the highest award in mathematics, and its reputation is comparable to the Nobel Prize. To be precise, the Fields Medal is more precious than the Nobel Prize, because it is awarded only once every 4 years, and is limited to those under 40 years old. So far, only more than 60 mathematicians in the world have won this award. The publication of the Book of Goldbach's conjecture shocked the entire mathematics community. The Goldbach conjecture that has troubled the mathematics community for hundreds of years was solved by an unimaginable amount of mathematical knowledge. Many mathematicians believe that Liemo's winning of this year's Fields Medal is a foregone conclusion. Domestic and foreign media have already regarded Liemo as the winner of the Fields Medal in advance. As the award ceremony approaches, warm-up activities have also been launched in China. Professor Liemo is determined to win the Fields Medal. An insider revealed that the medal with Liemo's name on it has been made. Mathematics leaders exclaimed that this year's Fields Medal winner is a foregone conclusion. Everyone is looking forward to seeing how Professor Liemo, the Fields Medal winner, will forge ahead. Various articles have appeared on the front pages of major websites. Good fellow, the Fields Medal hasn't even been won yet, but they are making such a big fuss about it. Aren't they afraid of making a mistake? Nothing is 100% certain in everything. As the person involved, Liemo also tactfully reminded some domestic media on Weibo to be careful with their wording. Otherwise, the medal will eventually go to someone else and be laughed at by foreign colleagues. However, those media didn't listen, because according to Professor Liemo's achievement in solving the Goldbach conjecture, if the International Mathematical Union did not award him the Fields Medal, it would be a huge shady deal. Even some small media misunderstood his intentions and published an article on the website titled "If this year's Fields Medal is not awarded to Professor Liemo, people all over the world will not agree." Seeing this trend getting stronger and stronger, Liemo could only let it go. He could only hope in his heart that the International Mathematical Union would not make a mistake at a critical moment. Fortunately, a few days later, he received a call from the International Mathematical Union. "Hello, Professor Liemo, I'm the Executive Secretary of the National Mathematical Union. Here, on behalf of the International Mathematical Union, I would like to congratulate you in advance on winning this year's Fields Medal." On the phone, the Executive Secretary spoke fluent Chinese. "Thank you, National Mathematical Union. It is my honor to win the Fields Medal." Liemo, who had experience with the Nobel Prize call, did not regard this call from abroad as a scam call. Few criminals have the courage to joke about this level of award. Then the award ceremony will be held at this year's International Congress of Mathematicians. At that time, I hope you will go to LA&M country on time to receive the medal. The Executive Secretary continued, "The invitation letter for the Mathematical Congress has been." Liemo felt his brain dazed when he heard this. The grey fog was everywhere, and he was in the grey fog space again. On the high platform in the rolling grey fog, the anxious voice of the big-headed Pajero came. "Reject him. Liemo. Reject the Fields Medal." The big-headed Pajero saw that Liemo didn't understand. Liemo asked puzzledly, "Why? This is the Fields Medal, the award that Earth mathematicians dream of." The big-headed Pajero said anxiously, "Do you dare to go abroad with your current identity, and it's still M country? Current identity? The inventor of superenergy, the pioneer of the quantum era." Liemo suddenly realized that he understood the worries of the big-headed Pajero. M country has long coveted him, and once offered a price of 500 million to tempt him to accept the so-called Medal of Freedom. It's not that Liemo judged others by his own standards, but mainly because M country has a serious history of snatching talents. As early as World War II, they plundered many scientific and technological talents from the defeated countries by pardoning war crimes and the temptation of money. With the addition of these scientific and technological talents, the rocket of M country was able to take off. Interested people can find that the initial rocket of M country is exactly the same as the V1 of the defeated country. Moreover, the main leader of the Manhattan Project of M country also came from that defeated European country. After the end of World War II, peacetime has begun. M country has been increasing its efforts in plundering talents, constantly luring talented students from developing countries to join M country with full scholarships. It can be said that the rapid development of science and technology in M country is based on the plunder of scientific and technological talents from all over the world. Thinking of this, Liemo also felt that if he went to the International Congress of Mathematicians held in LA, M country, he would never return. At that time, M country would definitely refuse him to return home for various reasons. But this is the field's metal. He was unwilling to give up. An idea came to his mind. Liemo said to the platform, "I want to go to LA to receive the award." "No, absolutely not. My own affairs. I decide for myself. I want to go." "No, absolutely not." After a few rounds, Liemo already felt that the big-headed Pajero man was on the verge of collapse. A smile appeared on his face. "Are you begging me?" After a long time, a sigh came from the podium. "Yes, I'm begging you not to go abroad." "Then, if I accept your request, do you owe me a favor?" Liemo showed a triumphant smile on his face. "Yes, I owe you a favor, and I can give you an extra chance to ask questions." Finally, the big-headed Pajero man gave in. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.